button was too far away for me to press when you were talking about murdering children. But now we're talking about it again. I found the button, so we're pressing it.
Yeah. No, just again, you always have to credit the people that are willing to show the dark side of humanity, like Shogun, and just the truth, rather than like pussy ass prey that just wouldn't. Everything has to be Disney-fied. Yeah. What can you do?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Those
how native
Comanches.
culture. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say those Comanches are fucking bastards.
Yeah.
I mean, they were brutal. They used to scalp you, and fucking God knows what else.
Bonesaw. What's that movie? The Kurt Russell Western.
Oh,
Tombstone.
No, Tomahawk.
But Bone Tomahawk.
Bone
there it
Tomahawk. Is that the one where they like hammer a stake up some guy's ass?
It's got one of the most gruesome, gory scalping scenes I've ever. To make me like, I don't know. I'm really good when it comes to gore, but it's one of the worst scenes you'll ever see, and they wouldn't show anything like that.
They cut a dude right down the middle, and that's kind of. I thought Terrifier did it really badly, but Bone Tomahawk. Oh my God, I usually have a strong stomach for that stuff, and I had to cringe.
It's one of the most gruesome scenes I've ever seen in a movie.
It's even more brutal than Terrifier.
Oh yes, it's more brutal than Terrifier, because Terrifier still had that proppy look to all of the kills.
Yeah,
this looks like they took a dude and they actually cut him on half on set in Bone Tomahawk.
Yeah, I honestly, it's top 3, top 5. I can't, off the top of my head, I can't really think of other movie scenes. I don't want to hype it up to that degree, but I remember my physical reaction to it, and usually I'm just fine,
Oh yeah, it gets better on rewatch. Gore aside, though, to be honest, it's a sneaks up on you kind of Western. I didn't expect to like it as much as I did.
And Kurt Russell's just good in everything, man. Unstoppable.
Oh yeah.
It is one of those things that makes you think, when all those people, particularly in Canada, but in some places in America, they begin with those, is it land acknowledgements they call them?
Yep.
We acknowledge that we're standing here on stolen land, and they say that like it's a bad thing. But I think we should probably reframe it. Like, we're standing here on land that we've liberated from absolute barbarians, and you should be thankful because now you have healthcare. Whereas before, you had scalping and genocide.
That's pretty much it. The distinction between stolen land and conquered land is something that they never want to play with.
No. Even then, they've like retconned a lot of native history just in the mainstream to make us forget that all of these tribes were scalping each other and fighting each other well before any colonizers arrived in North America. But
what's that
they actually killed a man for that scene.
What's that clip you always see on YouTube where the guy's talking to the native dude, and he's going, before your tribe was the Tomahawks, the Comanches, and he brings up like 500 tribes. And he goes, you were working with us and we were giving you guns to conquer other people. Now it's our turn to conquer you. And they go, oh yeah, I forgot about that. They always go, I forgot about that.
But yes, what kicked off this conversation is there is the new Predator animated thing, which apparently is not very good. I have not seen it. I didn't even know it was coming out, to be fair, but I haven't seen it. So I don't know if we want to add it quickly to the top of the topic list, since
it's going to have to be to the top because it's not on the slides. So it's not there.
Yeah, I didn't even know it existed. I thought Predator Badlands was the next thing that was coming out.
Yep. It is the next major. I mean, it's the next live action one, isn't it? Which is
that's the cinematic release.
This is an animated Hulu. Did you say it was on?
It's got the same art style as like Arcane.
Really?
But worse.
Yeah.
Worse.
I saw the trailer for this. I didn't know it was out so fast.
Sorry, go on.
No, I didn't expect it to drop this quickly either. But sorry, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, it's the idea everyone liked, like Predator versus Viking, Predator versus Samurai. You know, Predators going throughout history and fighting these like warriors. But imagine that, but worse in every single way. When you get the Vikings, it's a Viking woman. You got 2 gay samurais. They're brothers, but they might as well be bummers. It's just
They're brothers. They're brothers. Hold on.
I know, but like they don't act like that.
They're so gay, they might as well be brothers.
But the problem is like, every one of them suck ass. It's like they don't feel like he's fighting these like strong warriors. They're just I hate it.
Why
was
is
such a
this their
bad show.
vision for Predator? How do you look at the Predator and then end up with like what you just described? I just don't get it. So many things you can do with it, and like all the podcasts involving Predator that I've been on, the biggest conclusion is that this concept is something that we're always willing to see a new idea with. Like the Predator concept is just so brilliant, but they always piss it away or just repeat the same bullshit. And then what you're describing just sounds like ass, man. Like why? Just a Predator in feudal Japan with grounded, serious characters. You don't have to add all this fucking modern day bullshit.
Yeah, but they can't resist it, can they? I mean, why bother doing anything like that if you can't add modern day bullshit? Just a brief sidebar. Shall I quickly try and break the stream? Because I'm seeing something at the top of my little StreamYards thing here. It's a beta feature, which usually means it's broken. But it says show comments on stage, which I think means chat might even be visible. But I'm going to press the button, and if it goes down, chat, it's your fault.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't, then welcome to the stream.
I see something.
I've pressed it. Live comments from viewers will appear on screen during. There it is. I see it.
There, finally.
Hello, chat. Welcome to the stream. We've started.
Thank you.
Anyway, yes, Predator, the thingy is not very good. Is what we've been accepting here.
It's strange because I started reading the Predator comics earlier this year, and there's so many stories that like even like Predator 2 just I don't think Predator 2 is a very good movie. I'm sorry. I know people like it, but I don't think it's very good.
Wait, which one?
Predator 2, the one where they're in LA with Danny Glover.
It's not a good movie.
There's one great Predator movie, and then there's a bunch of other movies that exist with this incredible concept of the Predator that we're willing to watch in shit movies. That's pretty much it. They haven't really captured it since the first one, and that's
but it's strange because like there's like 4 or 5 omnibuses out there of Predator comics, and just reading the ones that came out in the 80s and early 90s, there's so many stories and characters that seem to just be completely skated over for the sake of just keeping this like, oh, the Predator is a scary guy and he has to do scary things. And that's about it. Like Predator 2 could have been a way better movie had they kind of incorporated a lot of the elements of the comic that was supposedly based on or inspired by. Like Dutch was going to come back. Dutch had a brother in LA. That's why they used the LA setting and everything. It was a lot more interesting and it flowed a lot better. But I'm just this Killer of Killers thing. The anthology idea is interesting. It shouldn't have been 15-minute stories, though, because there's no time to really flesh out any characters or even any stakes. And the Predator is literally introduced in each story the exact same way. And it breaks the overarching Predator lore of why they're even hunting people or killing people repeatedly. I for the life of me, it's like reading. You know how, like, was it 50 Shades of Grey was just Twilight fan fiction? It's like that. This is just the 50 Shades of Grey of the Predator franchise, essentially.
Have they ever done like Batman versus Predator or any like funky spin-offs like
that?
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah,
they did Batman versus Predator like 4 times.
Batman investigating Predator is just something I just feel like you gotta do that. Like that's just this, and that's what I mean. It's a concept. There's a reason Batman has worked for decades and so many different actors and like this and that. Predators kind of remind me of that, where like we're willing to see different interpretations of this. Just show me anything. Just do a good job. And their inability to do that is just shocking. But we're all going to be there for the next one, just in case. That's how
Same
cool
with Alien, right?
Yeah, Alien
That's
and Predator.
How good that one movie was.
So I mean, that's not even the movie. It's the concept itself. The movie's great, but the concept was so great that we're willing to watch shit movies for decades. It's just
pretty much,
it's crazy. Terminator, throw that in there too, just because I don't know. It's the staying power of those 3 films.
Throw Alien in there.
Yeah, Alien, Terminator, and Predator are the 3 ones that I just referenced. Of like, you nailed such an incredible concept that we're willing to just sit here like slaves until you do it again. They just haven't been able to.
Don't recommend it though. It is hot garbage. It's less than 90 minutes, so you'll go through it fast, but it feels like it drags. And
the animation's janky as well.
It really is.
And then like the whole Killer of Killers is, well, to spoil it because it's shit. The ending has the Predator get them all in a gladiator pit and fight each other.
And the winner gets to fight him is the reward, I guess.
Yeah. Just be the killer of killers, the fucking Predator says. And it's like, oh, fuck off.
That's just
Wait, what? It actually says that? The
Yeah,
predator?
it's in Alien Talk. It goes, "Be the killer of killers."
Okay. I thought
Mhm.
it said it in English.
No,
Be
it-
the killer of killer.
They've got these like
No.
explosive collars on, and coincidentally, it can translate alien speak to any language on Earth. So that's how they
Lord.
explain away the
Why?
communication.
Why
Yeah.
would a predator have that?
yeah. How would that how would that benefit a
Plus,
predator?
why-
Why would they even?
Why would
It's
they
like
care
it's-
about gladiator arenas? That's the thing as well. It's a hunter. It hunts people.
Yeah, and that's
It
type of
doesn't- it doesn't always
communication.
fight
Why
each
would they
other.
value that? Why they invest tech rather than like gear for actual combat? It makes sense. Like the fucking goo from Quantum Mania. Anytime I
The,
see stuff like that, it just annoys me.
So like the first story is a Viking woman, then the second story is two samurai brothers, and the third story is this Hispanic dude in World War II. The World War II one is the dumbest one because he just kind of learns that they identify things through heat because he just like a piece of his plane got on fire, and he just like by seeing that he's like, oh my god, they see heat, and then he conjures up this stupid plan of, oh, if we fly our rickety planes into the atmosphere, our planes will cool off immediately and the predator won't be able to track us anymore. That's his grand
What?
plan. Yes.
But
In
we
World
already
War
know-
II, did you say?
In World War II, in 1942.
How do they?
And when you say fly our planes into the atmosphere, are we talking? What are we talking? Spitfires in
We're
space?
talking, yes, we're talking those
Spitfires.
little like rickety Spitfires, and his is like a half broken plane because the whole thing is like he wants to be a pilot, but he's not good enough. So he takes this broken ass plane into the air to try and warn others, and then it just turns out that he happens to be the last one. And yes, his plan is to take his broken Spitfire into the atmosphere. It'll freeze, and immediately they'll be safe from the predator's heat-seeking
Oh
missiles.
my god.
But
But
then
we
they
know
will
from-
plummet to Earth and die, so it's not really going to save them.
Yeah, a bit of a problem there.
The
we
predator
know
couldn't
from
see the
Predator 2
plane. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was saying from Predator 2, we know they don't just see heat. Because when the people are going through that facility, which is freezing cold, it switches visions.
Mhm.
It can sense light. It's so fucking stupid.
It dumbs down
Right.
all of the predators, like every single one of them. Like even in the World War II one, it's not really explained why this one guy, this one predator, is going around and killing all of these pilots. Because the whole premise is that they try to find the best human to, you know, prove their worth, right, to the other predators on their home planet or their tribe or whatever. But this guy's just like he's just rolling around in the air, just shooting down fighter pilots for funsies. I guess I don't know. It's not explained really.
Plus,
Hmm.
they don't give him like a plane. They just put him in the arena with everyone
Yeah.
else. Where
Yeah.
outside of his plane, he's no good.
I mean, he
Like,
wasn't that
I'm
good
looking
in a
for the-
plane either.
Well, no. But I'm just saying, like, it's like I'm looking for the best fighter pilot for a
Mhm.
challenge and then not
Right.
giving him a fucking plane. The one thing he's it's I'm looking for a sword master and then I don't give him a sword. It's like the stupidest fucking thing.
Ridiculous.
I don't know, just
That's
like
even worse than that, though, because at least like you would expect maybe like, a guy who's really good at sword fighting would have other martial arts capabilities, but a guy who's really, really good at driving a vehicle is going to be fucking useless without it. It's like saying,
exactly.
I want to find the best drone pilot, and it's just this incredibly fat, diabetic, obese piece of shit. And then it's like, well, I'll stick him in a gladiator arena and beat the shit out of him.
It's an absolute mess, but it could be prime content for all of you on this panel.
Yeah, you've piqued my interest now.
Yeah, they've
I've
lost
had
the
more
plot,
fun.
it seems like, when it comes to Predator. Like, if this is what they've come to, then yeah. I don't know.
Well, the newest one. It's a baby predator with some
Badlands.
female android in the newest movie that's coming out.
Yep.
With
Elle Fanning and a predator go across a wasteland or something. It's Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, which I predicted last year, anyways.
He's going to be the most pussy Predator we've ever seen on screen.
Or she, or she.
Like, remember, what's his name? Grog or Groot? The fucking pussy orc from the Rings of Power season 2 that was crying and shit. Who remembers him? Fucking,
one with
Not
the
watch
baby.
it.
huh?
one
Yes,
with the
yes, the one
family?
with the baby and the family, whatever his name. I made a video on the fucker and I can't remember his name.
Oh, Glug?
traitor.
Glug, legendary Glug. How did I forget this dude? He's gonna be the Predator equivalent of Glug. Like, that's what
Oh,
I'm predicting.
God.
Absolute punani. Like, just wait for it. Glug.
That Glug was a little shit, weren't he?
Glug
He
was
betrayed
such a-
Sauron, didn't he? Little
Yeah,
bastard.
little bitch. She's such a pussy. Oh, what have they
And
done?
all
to
he
orcs?
do was fucking whine.
Yeah. For anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about, orcs are supposed to be a menacing creature, an
Mhm.
entire faction. They made them like the oppressed, like the same thing they did with Devil May Cry with the demons. These evil
Ugh.
factions all have to be oppressed and like
Well, it's worse because they do both. On one hand, they're the evil invading horde that will just murder children, but on the other,
Exactly.
they're a morally grey, fucking neutral position. It's so stupid. They want to have the cake and eat it too, and it doesn't work.
That's the
Well,
best
yeah, because like
description of it.
they introduce them as these human characters, but then they still try to use them for like comic relief deaths, as though they were just enemy clone grunt type creatures. And so, like
And
about 5 minutes after you learn orcs have wives and little children, and they like cooking gravy or whatever they do, then you get an orc just like stumbling into a catapult and being launched against a wall, and say, "Well, that's
The
funny."
Wilhelm
Except that
scream.
now I know that he's abandoned his wife and kids. What am I supposed to feel about this?
Hey,
I'm
you know how
conflicted.
they really try to manipulate the audience? Like they're trying to literally do both. They don't show Glug in any of the battle scenes. They have him pop up just to be the sympathetic voice for the orcs, and then they go back to doing evil orc shit in the next scene.
Mhm.
It's so fucking stupid. Oh shit, I missed that.
Has
we
this
still
show
getting
been
this?
canceled yet?
Rings of
No,
Power.
I think
No,
we're
I
still-
think season 3 is still planned. Whether or not they do another one after that is an open
I
question. but
think
are.
they might film 3 and 4 back to back to
Yeah.
save money.
I don't think they are willing to take the hit to their ego of canceling it, so they'll try to just blend it together and just try to wrap it up as soon as possible. There's no way they're making it to 5. There's no
I'm
way.
surprised they did with Wheel of Time. I mean, that show was a piece of shit, and he cancelled it. Every woman, like all the young, sexy sorceresses, were all 50 and ugly. Because it's like we use our magic to stay young, and one woman had cheeks that could cut through like a vault door.
Oh, I remember her. She was terrifying.
Oh yeah, she looked like a plastic doll that you kind of melted a little bit. Oh, she was
Never heard a good
terrifying.
thing about that show. Not one
Isn't
good
she
thing
one
in
of
all
the
these years.
first people you see? Isn't it like first episode of the first season? Are they're chasing some guy down, I think? And isn't she's one of them? And so like the first woman you see is just like the most terrifying creature in the entire show.
That's because she seems to devolve every season. She gets more and more plasticky. Like her cheeks get sharper and sharper, and she gets more anorexic. So they get even more fucking creepy. She looks like Chucky. But like I said, all the women are going, we're the youngest, attractive, never aging Aes Sedai, and honestly, God, they're all 50. They all look like they're about to menstruate, hit the fucking menstrual cycle.
Ugh.
So they can't cast for either show, you're saying? Because Galadriel was
it's terrible.
trash. One of the
You see
worst.
the poster for Wheel of Time? It's like the dragon, the main character, is all the way in the back, shrunken, and all the women are at the front.
Oh god. I wonder how long are they gonna get away with this? Like Silver Surfer, I feel like we're all just this would have been like a colossal event back in like 2019, but we're all still just exhausted. We're just tired at this point. Like, really? Another fucking iconic male character or iconic character, period, that you feel the need to turn female to achieve what? And she looks like shit. That's the shocking thing about it. Like, I don't even care that she's female. I care that you made the Silver Surfer lame. It looks terrible.
Yeah, the
Don't you have a
CGI
slide?
looks terrible.
Don't you have a slide, Cynic? Of
Yeah,
what
it
she
is
looks
on
like?
here. Yeah, hang on.
Yes.
We can just.
Accidental segue?
No,
Accidental-
I feel bad. Cedric has put in the time and the effort getting these slides in order, and there's a narrative, and here we are. We're not
sorry.
even talking about the fucking
I'm
thing.
so
And now it's
sorry.
like, here's the last slide in
That's
the
right.
pack. We'll
Here's
jump to
the
that.
last
That's
one.
right.
It's all right. Fuck it. Whatever.
That's like, what is that?
Well, they've done a few of these, haven't they? And say this is what the character is definitely going to look like, except that it's more like of an artist's rendition of what the character is definitely going to look like. They did it with Galactus as well. It's almost a hand-drawn thing. So it's like, well, it's not what the character is actually going to look like because this isn't CGI. So it's going to look worse than this when it's actually in the movie and moving.
Yeah, this looks better than all the other shots I've seen, but this isn't a good representation of what's going to be in the movie. And it's yeah, I don't know what their thought process is with this whole thing.
I
T1000 Fembot, boom, chat nailed it.
Yeah.
I don't understand why Hollywood is trying to push Julia Garner on us so much. She's a really average actress. she's really ugly to look at on top of that. Like, even if you put a paper bag on her, there's nothing else to really look at. I just don't understand why we're getting so much Julia Garner. There's nothing there, really.
No,
Is
So
it
they
just
go
either.
through these phases where they just pick a person and just try and make that person happen for no particular
Ziegler.
reason. Yeah,
Well, we
Rachel
know the
Ziegler was
reason.
one. Even like Jenna Ortega was one for a while. I don't know how like popular she is these days or how many things she's been casting, but like she was a thing for a bit, and they'll find a new thing for a bit, and then they just move on and discard
Well,
the women.
They discard them, but we know why they're popular. They get passed around all the producers. They all have a taste, and then they go, you know what? She's now 18. We're no longer interested. She's too old for us. We're gonna move on to the younger ones.
Megan
She's
Fox,
she's
Jennifer
carrying
Lawrence.
one of our children. We don't know whose it could be. It could be any of ours, so we all have a vested interest in making sure she has a career until we
She
find out
looks
whose
like
it
a
is.
Polly Jackson Peyton. After we're done with her, she looks like she's been haunted with the amount of ectoplasm on her.
That's what I'm saying. You can just rip her all day. We wouldn't be doing this with the Silver Surfer, but look what they've created.
Isn't the plot is Sue Storm's the main leader,
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
she's gonna girl boss with Silver Surfer
yeah.
and the baby at the end.
From what I've heard, it's Mary Sue Storm and the Silver Surfer at the end just dominating while the guys are in the corner crying.
I thought
Is
they
that
just
why
talk
she
it
wouldn't-
out, and that's how everything gets sorted, essentially.
Probably that. That's how Cap talked down Red Hulk. That's
Yeah.
fucking Cassie told Ant-Man, "Don't be a dick." That's all they have. Just these stupid little talk down scenes. It's fucking
What's she
lame.
gonna say to Galactus? Just stop it, and he goes,
Yeah.
"Okay."
Stop,
Be a
okay?
dick.
Right.
Stop. But he's just yelling it up to him. Don't be a dick. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. But that's what I mean. I can picture that in a Marvel movie, and they would make a joke out of it, and it would fail. We'd all just die inside.
No, he can shrink. He'll shrink to below her, and she'll stand over him as she lectures him.
Yeah, 100%. They'll do something shit like that. They'll find a way to ruin Galactus. I just don't have any faith in this film.
Question: Is Silver Surfer and Silver Surfer and Galactus, are those characters that are kind of dependent on each other in the comic books, or because they did this with the last ones?
If you're doing their origins, you have to have them connected because they just
Gotcha.
are. Yeah, like it's the classic tale. It's like trying to do Venom without Spider-Man. It's fucking dumb, and then you get a stupid trilogy out of it that sucks.
What's their origin again? Then Galactus created the Silver Surfer or something like that?
Yeah, he's the Herald of Galactus. Basically, he destroys his planet, turns him into the Silver Surfer, and then tells him to go out and look for other planets. So Silver Surfer is a scout. He tries to divert Galactus from like planet inhabited worlds. So that's kind of thing. And then he accidentally finds Earth.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, for me, I've known about the Silver Surfer for years. Don't really know much about his story, as you can see by my questions here. But just by his design and the ideas I have in my head for all the potential in the character, I've always liked him. We're losing all of that here. I really think, in the name of empowering women for the millionth time, I feel like we're losing one of the most, like, just a character that can stand just with his imagery alone. And then we can.
Well, there's comic book precedent, Jedi, bro.
There's comic book precedent for fucking Ironheart. Look at that turd. She sucks. So it doesn't matter. Let's just get good stories. I don't give a fuck about my comics anymore. I'm done.
Well, they said that, didn't they? They said they're purposely creating these new characters for the movies and using the comic books as justification.
Yeah,
All
comic
new, all
books are just
different.
like R&D for the movies, They have been for a long time now.
When you
The
have
thing with
that's
R&D
like,
is like the point of R&D is you're supposed to do experiments and find out what really works very well and
I
then
know.
sell it. But not
They're
they do the
taking what
opposite. It's like,
bombs.
which is the least successful comic run we've created in the last 10 years? We'll do that. That sounds like a plan. Give Ms. Marvel her 5th chance.
This is why I'm so hard on Disney, like in terms of them prioritizing lecturing us, because you have the proof, like Platoon just said, it didn't work in the comics. We don't like this character, she's shit, but they force her on us instead. How many other characters should have gotten a show or like a proper cameo in a popular movie like Black Wakanda Forever? There's so many other characters that could have gotten that. Fucking Bucky up to now, someone who's been here since phase 1 is just being wasted, but Riri Williams get the show. It's bullshit, man. And it's It's enough.
Question about the Marvel comics, because I asked this on another stream yesterday, and I didn't really get an answer. So Marvel is kind of showing steps that they're trying to like take a fresh look at things and at least try to get, I guess, consumer and viewer trust back at some point. Are the Marvel Comics division trying to do the same, given that they've been kind of in the shitter for at least a decade at this point? Or is it just kind of they're left to their own devices sort of thing? Nobody really cares.
I think they've slowly kicked out the people. I mean, it's took forever, but they have kicked out some of the worst, the absolute worst, like the fart Harley Quinn comics and stuff. I mean, I know that's DC, but the really embarrassing people they've kind of pushed out, and now they're sort of trying to do comics again, but they're not as what they were. I think it's like, I think that's what it is. It's like we've kicked out all the talented people. We hide all the pieces of shit activists. The pieces of shit activists didn't do us any money. We've now got rid of them, but we don't really have anyone of talent to elevate the. So now we're kind of stuck with these mid stories.
Gotcha.
You can't just change your entire philosophy overnight. They got to get rid of those maniacs, but then actually get back to talented, passionate creators. And I don't know how. There's people that will do this for free. That's what's so frustrating about it. Like whether it's DC, Marvel, Star Wars, Doctor, you can find some nerd on the internet that'll dedicate his life to making sure that your content is improved because they love the series, and they still ignore that.
But that's actually that's actually kind of the downside, because people have realized you can kind of make your own comics without Marvel and DC, and actually have a better chance selling them. Like, what was that game that came out and it was a bunch of people, just YouTubers? Clear Obscure 33.
Oh, that was a bunch of Ubisoft devs, former Ubisoft devs.
They left and they found like a musician on YouTube, and you were like looking up writers on Reddit and stuff. So that's the type of thing, is if you can actually make it yourself independently, you don't really need to join up with these companies.
100%. One of my biggest inspirations, I don't even love the movie, but I love that an idea got turned into a movie. Lights Out. It was just a little YouTube horror short on YouTube, and they loved the concept so much that they turned it into a movie where like it's a creature that could only attack you when the lights are out, pretty much. If anyone's ever seen that movie, it's actually pretty cool. But the fact that just a little YouTube short, the fact that it was just a tiny little YouTube mini horror story, and it got turned into that is amazing. But it comes down to the fact that ideas is king. You can be Disney, you can have all the money in the world, but if you find that right idea and you find the right way to package it, you can do great things. But they don't believe in that anymore. Everything has to be a sequel or this or that. I'm so sick of Disney's bullshit.
Shit. Well, before we actually even dive into any of these slides, we have a shit ton of super chats. If I could get through a few, that'd be cool. TGV Monster says, not sure about movies, but Resident Evil Requiem next year. 30 years of Resident Evil. I feel old and I don't care.
Yeah, the new one's coming out, right?
Yeah, in February. I'm pretty hyped. I thought it looked good. I'm interested.
I'm going to play. I was planning on playing all the Resident Evils from the first game all the way through, just to be more familiar with the franchise. I'm just curious.
It's worth it.
I've never played a single one, so I don't like. But I have seen, for some reason, most of the Mila Jovovich movies, which I think is probably the wrong way around.
Yes.
Oh yeah. They take nothing from
the
games.
As someone who barely knows the games, they're significantly better than that crap. I don't know what they were thinking.
What was that one where she has to team up with Wesker? They teased at the very end of the movie the White House is being attacked, and then the next movie, all of that just disappeared. It never happened.
The continuity of those movies is funny.
They kept doing these teasers, and then the teasers wouldn't just go away.
You know, you ever have trailers that get just stuck in your head because you've seen it like a million times? The image of her kicking that dog in the first movie just lives right in my head. I can access it whenever I want. It's like a button. It's just stuck.
TGV Monster also says, hi, everyone. Welcome. It's Monday. Yes, it is.
It is.
If it's BSUP, it's Monday.
That's miserable.
I would like to think we're improving some people's Mondays, because Mondays are shit, man.
They are.
Well, misery loves company, I suppose.
Yeah. There you go.
Victor's nepotism. Platoon, would you like to elaborate on the topic from your Barbie review as to why boys struggle more in school compared to girls in recent years?
Oh, fuck me. You asked me to remember something from my Barbie review. Well, like the topic more generally, boys struggle more in school because there was a fairly big academic achievement gap between boys and girls, and the boys were doing pretty well, and girls were seen to be underperforming comparatively. And a concerted effort was made to try and redress the balance. And they looked at the ways in which boys and girls learn differently. For example, boys tend to excel in exams and girls excel in schoolwork. And so they decided, fuck exams, we'll move everything to schoolwork. Consequently, girls perform very, very well, and boys just don't do coursework well. As a rule, boys do not perform anywhere like as well. But when boys underperform, it's not seen to be an issue, so nobody really minds. And so it's allowed to get worse and worse and worse to the point that now, like the gender gap in people even getting to university is significant. Like way more girls will get there than boys will. And of course, you've got like other problems as well, like the fact that the vast majority of teachers these days are women, and women are just better at teaching girls than they are at teaching boys. Less to sort of relate to, less understanding. So a lot of problematic male behavior is almost pathologized, and they get punished more for it. There's a whole bunch of structural reasons why this has been the case, and it was all to try and redress the seeming imbalance in academic achievement that used to exist between boys and girls. Now the imbalance has been completely reversed, but because it's women succeeding, nobody minds, apparently. That would be my guess, but I can't remember exactly what I was talking about in that video.
It was only like 2 years ago.
I know.
Richard Schaff says Ballerina was so boring I couldn't get invested. Yes, we are going to talk about that. TGV Monster also says Platoon, you're right that no one sets out to destroy a piece of art on purpose, but then there's Russell T Davis in current Doctor Who.
And Joker 2, like, come on now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I know that because these people are genuine true believers. Russell T Davis did not want to destroy Doctor Who. He when they said, for every one bigot we lose, we'll gain 15 new fans for the diversity. They believe that. That's genuinely what these people think. I don't know how, but they do.
Body of evidence that's the contrary. It's like you watch Last Jedi and go, well, let's just copy that. I mean, Star Wars is a shell of itself.
It's people who don't go outside. They don't go outside. They live on Twitter and they think that's how most of the world is like. That's what most of the world wants. And they just don't understand that most people just want a good story. You add all these politics. Like, I will never forget watching The Last Jedi and seeing Holdo. And like, are you fucking kidding me? You fucking serious? This purple what? This is a real movie? Like, it a fever dream. But they thought that was smart and strong and empowering and sending an important message about toxic masculinity when the bitch is insane and Poe was the only one in the movie that was making any sense.
Yeah.
So from there, I'm just like, how if
Maybe
they actually think this is legit, there's nothing we can do. It's a sickness.
So maybe the film's actually genius because it's like trying to be a masculine figure underneath a horrible female managerialism.
That's what if it turned out that Poe was
actually look
at the end, but the film thought Holdo was right and thought Poe was just a piece of shit. That's why it's so everyone in the world came out with that question of why the fuck didn't you tell Poe the plan? It's just it doesn't make any sense. But it's an idea of how far they're prioritizing feminism and this stupid empowerment bullshit to the point where it damages their story. It doesn't make any fucking sense, and they've been doing it from then up until now. Look at Lilo and Stitch, if the panel is seeing both of those.
Yes.
It's pretty shocking. I can't believe how invested I got in this stupid little blue goblin. But when you compare the damage of the movies and the approach that they took, it's pretty disgusting. Like even in
it is awful. I mean, but the mentality of people who create this kind of stuff is, in the first place, is the RTD thing of, we'll gain so many new fans for every one bigot we'll lose. Then when that doesn't seem to be working, it's that's like eventually it's just that people don't understand the brilliance. So in time it will get better, but then and then when it doesn't get better in time, then the defense mechanism kicks in. It's not that it will get better, it's that this just proves we were right all along and most of the world is full of Nazi scum, and this makes our work even more important. So we have to keep doing it. It's just like every single thing just reinforces itself. It will do well, and then the fact it doesn't do well means that the world is bad, as we always said it was, which means it's even more important that we keep doing the message stuff. The morale beatings will continue until morale improves, kind of mentality.
So they sound like a manifesto of a serial killer. They don't see my greatness, but they will tomorrow.
It's not wrong, man. When you're this good at playing a victim, you can move the goalpost in any direction. It doesn't fucking matter. You can move it back to what you've already tried and forget. Like, they're insane, man. It's
like if you read Russell T Davis's tweets, you'd think he was going to shoot up a school.
It's nuts.
Because he goes, "You'll understand. You'll all understand, you bigots."
I don't know, when you've gotten that far up your own ass as a writer, you need people around you to fucking like just check. You have to be able to get people to be brutally honest, man. Like even today, I messaged Cynic and Vex, like, tell me, does this look like shit for a thumbnail? And like, just they talked me out of one that I think was like not suitable for the video that I have in mind, right? And you need to be able to get people around you who aren't fucking yes men and people, you know, it really helps when you're creative. And it just seems like these people are stuck in their own little world, man.
I just found an ugly woman, which my past 4 videos have been Bella Ramsey over and
It's just a
over again.
montage of her just
Different images of her. Like,
it's
Ma-
kind of funny.
I'm about to finish the last episode. I have got so many memes of her. There's one as Steven Seagal, which is awesome. One as Buzz Lightyear. I've got
Those are good.
Dr. Evil.
Man,
I've got
this was
so
a
many.
This was a massive mistake for her career. It like she, I don't know, man. To a lot of people loved her in Game of Thrones. To go from like having that support of the fan base to like literally the whole world calling you a potato, it's just insane, man. What a fucking downfall. It's crazy. I just think it's one of the worst, not just casting wise, but in terms of the damage to her career and like the legacy, the potential she has going forward. Big mistake.
I don't know. She still has potential to play Sloth in a Goonies remake.
Slide her right in there.
So
I don't know.
Wander Girl for $20 said, last BSUP, you guys encouraged me to ask my parents for recommendations of old media. My mom suggested Hitchcock movies. We started with Psycho, and I was in awe of how they did so much with so little. Thanks for the nudge. That is cool.
Yeah, in high school, my teacher made us watch 12 Angry Men. I was the first person to say, "What the fuck is this ancient bullshit you're trying to make us watch?" And I loved it so much that I went home that day and made my sister watch it with me. Like, come here, just grabbed her. And to this day, it's one of the best movies I've ever seen. I feel like everyone should watch it just to be able to. What is a story? It doesn't have to have action scenes and all this. Like, just a simple progression of events. That's it. You bear it down to you draw it down to that, and a movie like that will really impress you.
And that you can build up the biggest stakes solely through dialogue and setup. You don't need massive CGI. I think it was just I think did Gary use this example in his Doctor Who video the other day? There's the scene with Tom Baker who's just holding 2 ends of a wire to get to each other. That scene probably cost £5 to film. But the premise is that if the wires connect, he might wipe out an entire species. But you don't need to show it, and everything is understandable just from one man holding 2 pieces of wire.
Yep.
Old Star Trek was really good at this as well. Like the most tense scenes are just a single camera on the bridge. That's all you need. You don't need massive external shots of ships flying through warp speed, shooting lasers at each other. You just need well-written dialogue, characters, and really consequential stakes, and you can do that very cheaply.
Well, a very good modern and recent example, Moblands. My mom is texting me on a daily basis about how intense every scene is because I got her into Moblands, and it's like 90% of the show is dialogue and people maneuvering and like the same type of political maneuvering that Game of Thrones got famous for. Moblands got it down to the T, and Tom Hardy is this is my favorite role of his by far. I love it.
dang.
Yeah, this is a great example of what Platoon was just mentioning. So if anyone wants to check that out.
Wonder Girl again says, follow up to my previous super chat. Psycho is the best female empowerment story I've seen in ages. Every character with agency is female, but feminists would say the women are all subservient to the men somehow.
Is that I haven't seen Psycho. Is that the one when he dresses up as a woman? His mother?
Yeah, as his mother. Yeah.
So it is the
Ultimate
best female empowerment
story.
Yeah, the crazy man woman is trying to stab everyone.
Okay, strange. That movie is actually one of the first ones to do like kind of what Game of Thrones did, where they killed off their like legit protagonists in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, it's
surprising
very
at the time.
unconventionally done. I mean, it's a great way of as well, like a character who it doesn't matter what the sex or gender is, but that they do an objectively bad, wrong thing, and almost that the universe puts them in trouble for that reason. But actually going all the way, and spoilers to anyone who hasn't seen a movie that came out in
Just me.
1940,
1960,
yeah,
yep.
like 60 even. Yeah, like the women you spend almost all your time with for like the first 2 to 2/3 to 3/4 of the film, obviously gets stabbed to death in the bath, and then it becomes a detective story after that. And the
Oh
villain.
god, it's ruined now. I can't watch it.
Oh no!
Oh no.
It's okay. The Vince Vaughn remake is really good as well. That came out in '98. So,
But
that
again,
ironic?
Didn't they
Or-
shoot that like shot for shot?
yeah, it was a shot-for-shot remake, just with Vince Vaughn as Norman Bates.
I can't take that seriously. Just,
That's so
Vince
crazy.
Vaughn,
to
I
me.
just smirk.
They did it shot for shot. That's wild.
But with Vince Vaughn.
Yeah,
They literally
Well,
just like
Vince
Vince Vaughn.
Vaughn. All right. To go along with what you guys were just talking about a second ago, James Busher says, "Hello all. Anyone on the panel finished Mobland? Not reinventing any wheels, but for what it was, it's a 10 out of 10. Great cast and characterization with tight writing and pacing. A heavy recommend."
I have not
I've
seen
only
it yet.
seen
I
the
finished
first episode.
Mobland is fantastic. Yeah.
Why does Pierce Brosnan? Why did they choose to have him an Irish accent?
Isn't he
Especially with
Irish?
children.
Already though.
Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah, I thought he's Irish.
I thought he was English.
I'm not
He
in
plays an
position.
Englishman, but I think he's Irish.
I think
But
he
his
is.
children are also English in the show. So I'm like, why just be English? Because his Irish accent doesn't sound. It sounds a bit
Yeah.
weird.
He was born in Ireland. Yep.
Ah.
I'm
then
not
he
in a
learned-
position to judge the accents at all. I just think he's phenomenal throughout the entire season, though. Like
It's
he's so
yeah.
good.
It was just more like because I'm so used to him as James Bond,
Mm.
and
Ah.
also his kids are English, and I'm like, why doesn't everyone just be English?
I think that's kind of why it appealed to me because like I like this side of him more now. Like I love seeing him play a fucking criminal. Like he's so good throughout this. And what's her the wrinkly chick? What's her name? Helen. I can never get.
Mirren.
Wrinkly
Yeah,
chick.
the wrinkly chick. She is so
They're all
fucking
wrinkly.
wrinkly. It's incredible. But yeah, they're all phenomenal. Tom Hardy kills it. And I'll say for the ending, I get bummed out nowadays when I see a show setting up a season 2 because I'm like, oh man, now I have to hope they don't screw it up. This is one of the few times where I'm like, you know what? You guys have earned this. Let's go. I want to see more of this. Like you can get 3 or 4 really good seasons out of this show. It's got that quality to it.
Mobland isn't Sheridan. Taylor Sheridan, is it? Someone else?
No, that's Tulsa King.
Is that what
Or
I'm
is that-
thinking of?
No, is that the oil one? What's this with?
Yeah, with
Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah, I think okay, that's what I'm mixing it up with.
I haven't seen either. I know the ending to Yellowstone. All the white people have to give back all the land to the natives, and then the natives just kick over their gravestones. I was like, oh, what a fucking lovely ending that is. Why just shit on their
Landman.
graves? Why just
Thanks,
dig up
Dave.
their skulls and piss in them? You might as well just opened up a skull and took a shit in its mouth.
Dang, good lord.
That'll be the start of the ballerina clip that I make for the second channel.
Ballerina. Is this got continuity to the John Wick movies or is it complete
It's
spin-off?
set
Like,
at
what
the
are they doing?
it's set during
Prequel,
John
prequel.
Wick 3.
Mm.
And John Wick is in it. John Wick
Does
Well,
he
I don't
play
know
a
if anyone-
substantial role?
No.
I've only kind of watched half of it. He shows up for like 5 minutes at the beginning, and at the very end he shows up again.
Did anyone else
Okay.
watch it?
Only
No.
halfway. I'm
Not
currently
yet.
watching it online.
Oh,
paused
okay.
it for
I
this
did
live
watch
stream.
it.
Reaper, help me out. Help me out here.
All right, I'll get you a copy.
All right.
He shows up again at the
Look it
end
up.
to try and like put her in her place. There is some continuity issue because like at the end of so at the end of chapter 3, remember he's all injured up, so he goes to the
Fuck,
Bowery.
it's been like 8 years since chapter 3.
Mhm.
I don't remember
Okay,
shit.
fair. Okay, so he goes to the Bowery to recover from his wounds from the events of chapter 3, and then there's like a 6-month gap before chapter 4. But remember, he had that like token or whatever with the Riscaroma with Angelica Houston's character. So he had basically broken his ties with them. So he owed her nothing, and vice versa. Yet despite that already happening, he takes a contract from her to go and get Anna de Armas back. So there's some continuity issue there because John doesn't really have anything to owe the Ruscaroma anymore. Also, he was supposed to be like low profile in those 6 months between 3 and 4, but now he's just in Europe hunting down this chick randomly.
Mm.
So there's some continuity issues there, but like you can kind of forgive it. It's not a very good movie. It's very boring. It
Very
starts out kind
contrived.
of, yeah, like it starts off okay, I guess. It's like, oh, she loses her dad and she gets taken in by the Ruska Roma and she gets trained. And then flash forward 2 months later, suddenly she's got John Wick's body count.
Ah, man, it's like the Echo thing. Echo, like they showed her like punch a bag for 2 seconds, and they blink, and suddenly she's a superstar who can fight Daredevil.
Right. But like
It's shit.
the strange thing is like that's a thing that they should have probably kept in because it would have actually bridged the gap a lot better between how she ended up struggling for 10-15 years to be a killer, and then all of a sudden in 2 months after her mentor says fight like a girl, she's finally able to take on rooms full of guys with no problem, not even a scratch on her.
Her first contract is stupid because you have to protect this woman, and they literally hit to pass a test. She has to assemble a gun before someone else and then shoot that person and kill them. But her first contract is to protect this woman, and they give her rubber bullets because she can't kill the assassins for some reason.
Yeah, that's not explained
I was
at
like,
all.
what? It's like she's shooting people directly in the face with rubber bullets. It's just a way so they can keep kicking her.
Yeah, and she gets thrown through like 3 or 4 different walls in that one sequence, and she doesn't have a single scratch, not even just a little droplet of blood anywhere. First, and that takes place in a club too, and for some reason, there's just axes sitting out in places. It's very
And
busy
nobody
club.
reacts. Nobody reacts to a woman shooting people and kicking people and stabbing everyone. And but it's like it's quite contrived. Like her whole thing is she wants revenge against this cult, but like she doesn't. After she trains, the cult just one day randomly try and kill her, and then she goes, "Oh, now I'm going to get revenge." And then she goes to the Continental, and they just so happen to know where to find a cult member, and he just so happens to know, and it's basically just a bunch of that. Goes to the next area, the person gives her all the information she could want. And then she moves on to the next area. It's really contrived.
They're like, still doing that same bullshit where everyone's an assassin? Because like that's kind of where I just quit. I love the first John Wick. It just got so stupid from the second one on.
Like the whole point of the Continental is you're safe inside the Continental.
I like that part.
But that's thrown out the window because what's his face from Walking Dead, the guy with the bow and arrow,
Norman Reedus.
Norman. Yeah, they put a bounty on him, and suddenly the cult just goes, let's just fucking blow up the Continental to get him. But like the whole point is, if you fuck up the rules of the Continental, every other clan goes after you. But no, that's out the window.
Because that's the most interesting part of the world building for me. But the idea of like some hobo on the street, like the scene with John Wick 2 where everyone is an assassin, like people like pulling out getting the texts, like some homeless man and everything. It just kind of got a little fucking silly. And I was hoping that this would be some type of return to form if they're gonna do a spin-off, but it sounds like the same shit from what you're saying.
Like,
she's not. Sorry, go on.
Oh, thank you. The weird, like 3 and 4 are just kind of like the worst of that John Wick, because it just goes to, oh, how can we use John to just show some crazy shit on screen, right? And then Ballerina sort of starts off like, oh, we're gonna try and be grounded like the first movie, and then after like the first 30 or 40 minutes, it just completely flips the script and goes complete John Wick 3 and 4 and everything. But instead of continuing kind of with her growth, she has basically all the skills and immunity John has, but without like that stupid bulletproof suit.
That's fucking stupid. And then I can't believe they actually got to that point.
Right. And in the 2 months that she's been an assassin on her own, somehow she has all of the same connections and repertoire with people like Sharon in this universe as well. Whereas for John, it was like he was in that life for 20 or 30 years. And that's how he built that legacy.
My question was going to be, does this damage the first John Wick in any way? And it sounds like it in terms of diminishing what it would have taken to get for him to that position. His reputation in the first one is what made that film so successful. Like that whole scene with the father breaking. It's like the most iconic scene of the movie.
Yeah.
The exposition scene for John Wick. But if it's that easy, then what the hell? Like, I don't know. They just completely, it's one of the best examples of a franchise that doesn't understand what made its first one work. Like they have no idea why John Wick worked. They thought it was just Keanu's popular and he shoots people. That's it. There's a guy who's good at his job and then they turn him into a superhero.
Well, Anna de Armas is kind of slow. You can kind of see she stumbles her way through the action scenes. She's not she's not the worst I've ever seen, but you can tell like the stuntmen have to do all the extra work to try and get her to look better. She's clearly not. She doesn't have like cerebral palsy. She's not that bad. But you can go. Can we do another take here? This is too slow.
I don't know if you got to this part yet, Reaper, wherever you are in the film, but there's an instance where she's in
the Austin Village.
Okay, so yeah, there's 2 instances where she like sets off grenades literally right next to her head, and she gets like no ringing, no damage, not even a speck of dirt on her. Like that happens like back to back within the span of 30 seconds. And then there's another instance in like the final act where they're in this random town. I don't know. They just kept fighting to fill runtime, it kind of felt at some point. But she's going up against this guy with a cleaver, and the guy like she's running away from him, so you see her running towards the camera. He's behind her. He hacks at her back and she jumps forward as though she were just stabbed. And then like a minute later, when she's lying on the ground, they inspect that supposed stab wound, and the guy just really slashed her clothing. That's it. But she jumped forward as though she got hacked in the back. The choreography just kind of falls apart the longer you watch this movie.
Well, the problem is all the damage she takes is superficial.
Yes.
Is like they want to go, look, she's not a girl boss. She's getting kicked. She's getting thrown through windows. She's getting grenades blowing off her heads, but not really. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really affect her. She keeps moving around like she hasn't been stabbed. Like she hasn't just been like RPG to the face. Sorry, go on.
No, just like even in terms of like John Wick 3 and 4 silliness, like this tops it even more. Like this is just you really have to be kind of like stoned and just treat it as a popcorn flick, and then it all makes sense.
It's frustrating because there's so many of these movies that get just thrown out and they don't understand how to make women believable action heroes. And Atomic Blonde is one of the only ones that actually did a good job of it.
Agreed.
And that movie got pissed on for being called the female John Wick. Now we have an actual female John Wick, and it's fucking shit. I'm sure they're going to give it more credit because it's associated with John Wick. Go watch Atomic Blonde. She fucking kicks ass, and it's believable. And she gets fucked up, and it's believable.
Right. And Charlize Theron, she trained with Keanu Reeves for that because he was doing his John Wick training around the same time. But even in terms of like female assassins in the John Wick universe, if you guys remember chapter 2 with Ruby Rose, so she was an assassin, but like they understood that she was a woman. So whenever she appeared in any like combat scenes, her choreography kind of used the feminine form a little bit more. Like she wasn't just straight punching dudes and manhandling them and everything. So it's like this franchise has done it before, where they've done the believable female assassin. You can just tell that Chad, what's his name, was basically not involved in any of this. It's an absolute disaster. Just someone watched John Wick and thought, oh, let's try this again. Here's some John Wick fan fiction.
That's what I mean. It's so annoying. You see it in so many franchises, but like I said, John Wick is one of the easy examples of it. They've been trying to recreate that first club fight scene in John Wick ever since then. Like that's the height of the John Wick series. And everyone forgets that fight ends with John on his ass. He loses practically. He falls off. The guy beats him and throws him off the thing. And it ends with him like, oh, with the wind knocked out of him. He's not dominating the entire thing. And they've never struck in that balance ever since.
Well, the fights all feel kind of the same. Like, again, like the club had axes, and then later on, as she's fighting in the village, there's a bunch of axes. And then how many axes she throws at people? There just seems to be everywhere.
For real, conveniently.
They all feel a bit they all feel a bit samey. They're all got that. They even everyone holds the gun sideways and really close. That John Wick gun fu. Everyone does the exact same fight style.
The gun running up to him so he can get the disarm moments. It got kind of memey after a while.
And even though they make that point where they go, you need to fight like a woman because in training she loses against a man. Later on in the movie, she's just punching people like a man. It goes nowhere.
That's another thing I was really disappointed at, is like the film opens with she's got the little ballerina trinket from her father. She's training to be a dancer. That's the first time we see her as an adult later on. But none of her fight choreography uses any of like that dancer skill or physique in it. Like it's legitimately just as soon as her mentor says fight like a girl, she just starts throwing things and kicking people in the nuts for the rest of the movie. That's it.
Sounds pretty accurate.
Like there's nothing unique to her. Like at least like as silly as the John Wick movies got, it's like John had a pretty unique and interesting fighting style compared to some of the other people that he would go up against. So it made for like a nice contrast and it livened up the action, 2 hours into the film. But here it's just she's doing the same move over. This really shouldn't have been 2 hours, but over 2 hours. And it's not interesting. It's also not believable because she spends the first half of the movie getting her ass handed to her. But there's no like moment that kind of shows her overcoming that like inability or weakness in her own training. So like there's basically no continuity in how she's able to hold her own, either in a gunfight or in hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah, but she's hot.
Yeah, that reminds me of it's training for the sake of training, just so you can't call her Mary Sue. It's like Rey
Yeah.
at the beginning of Rise of Skywalker. Like, look, she did some training, okay? And even the little bit of training that they showed there didn't apply to the rest of the movie because she didn't do anything. Like, you pretty much show that she can fly and throw her lightsaber around with her mind. They ignored that the rest of the film. So it's training so the audience will shut their mouth. It's not actually like going to be written into the story.
Pretty much, yeah. There's a good idea buried in here. It's just the execution is terrible. It's kind of a shame. And I know that there is talks of a second one. Like as early as 2023, they were talking about making this into its own trilogy.
Do we have any idea like how it's
Yay.
performing? Is it
Yeah, I was
performing
going to
well enough
say
to justify
here,
that?
it debuted at 51 million on a budget of 90. So I don't.
But
That's
that
not going
includes
to be.
the marketing budget, so that's 135 total, isn't it?
Yeah. So I don't. It's probably not going to break even. Like it'll probably end up being profitable in 4 or 5 years after streaming and stuff.
It would need serious word of mouth and like. Yeah, from what you guys described, I don't think it's going to get it because there's always going to be that percentage of people that brush off spin-offs, right?
Well, this is like the same problem with like that Lord of the Rings animated film that came out, or even like Rings of
Oh
Power.
yeah, War of the Rohirrim.
Right. Like John Wick is a male-centric IP. It's an IP that dudes like. So why are you going to throw in a female assassin that really has nothing interesting to her just in the mix? Like at its core, you don't understand who your target audience is. So regardless of whether it's not even an Ana de Armas problem. It's that you've pitched this movie in the wrong corner of the ring sort of deal. Nobody wanted
men will watch a female assassin, especially one played by Ana de Armas, if she's not wearing many clothes. That
She's
seems
wearing
like
many
loads. She's
I
covered
think
up.
that
with
is
her
a
hair,
misunderstanding of your target
She might
audience.
as well be a
'cause
Muslim.
like
Prime
I
Black
don't-
Widow, they actually understood the balance of like sex appeal and action, like having an assassin. That's
right.
one of the best examples, but they can't do that anymore. They're terrified. Look at this chick. She's sweating. She's got 13 sweaters on. Like she's
I don't
completely covered.
understand why they didn't make her into a femme fatale. Like it would have been so easy to make that work in this, but they completely ignore it and just try to make her another John Wick, which undermines John Wick as a character then.
We always appreciate scenes where women use their sex appeal to get an easy kill because we know it works. But that's so much more enjoyable and believable than watching her beat up some 300-pound dude. It's just their idea of empowerment and feminism is pushed it to the point of it's just you're making a joke of a scene instead of doing one that is realistic, but you consider it offensive. I think it's pathetic.
It is a strange decision as well to have spent, because that's quite a significant budget for a spin-off movie for a franchise, which it's been making more and more money, I think, with each installment, but it's not a massive earner. The John Wick 4 made from I think it's like 400 and something million worldwide in overall, and that was on a budget of about 100 million. So roughly, with marketing on top, I imagine that the two films have roughly the same spend, basically. And like you did well to get 400 million out of the main character of this long-ish running franchise. To spend that much money on a spin-off character for a spin-off and expect it to make anything like the right amount of money is a strange decision. Like it would have to be exceptional or incredibly sexy.
This sounds like this sounds like Furiosa all over again.
Yeah,
she had an inflated budget. Shitter film. Looked worse despite costing more.
What makes you think that they think that those will be successful? Because you don't go into that and just trying to burn money, right? So from Ballerina to Furiosa, why do they think it's actually worth the money, in your opinion?
Well, they just want to keep making like we think there's this female audience that'll show up.
That's kind of what I was getting at. I feel like there's this delusion that they have of this female audience that will come out and support anything with females. And look at the WNBA. That doesn't. If it was true, that shit would be banging. But no, they're drowning over there. So I don't know.
There might be a slight element of succession planning going on as well, though, in the sense, Keanu Reeves is getting on a little bit. He's probably not going to be fronting, very, very high octane action films for that many more years. Whether they can create a new character who happens to be a woman, therefore has, if not sex appeal, then gender appeal to a different audience. Maybe they would like to start building her up as someone who will take on a more prominent role in later movies as Keanu Reeves kind of scales back his involvement. I don't know if that might be factoring in as well.
Think with how much the woke shit has pissed people off, we need to go unbelievably safe, young white guy, attractive girl, big tits, and just a basic action movie, simple plot. Like, you think, because how many films do this, like, gender swaps and all these female characters, you'd think you'd play it extra safe, but they don't seem to be doing that.
This was this was in production for quite some time, because this was supposed to release like a year or two ago, wasn't it? Like, it got delayed because like COVID happened and whatnot, because this got announced some time ago. I remember.
Oh yeah, it did, didn't it?
Yeah. So I wonder if this is just kind of another one of those things where it's just like it was put into production at the height of all of this stuff, and now it's just like, because it got delayed and whatnot, we're still getting the remnants of it. Because Chad apparently had to come in to do some reshoots, so it's like it's pretty obvious that there are parts that they wanted to trim off or kind of mold a little bit differently for a 2025 audience. But yeah.
Didn't that happen with one of the most recent James Bond? They were supposed to have that Lashana Lynch chick in as like the new Bond, but then they pretty much like nerfed out all her scenes.
Oh yeah.
I just remember
nobody likes
riding. He rides a bitch on a Vespa. He was holding her by the hips as she was driving.
God, how do you do that to Bond, man? You just, what they've done to masculinity in Hollywood in the last few years is just a shame. We need to get it back, because they've just turned it into this thing that like they think there's no benefit to it whatsoever. And I don't know. I always reference Viggo Mortensen's Aragorn as like one of the best example of masculinity you ever see. He's just the fucking man. That's a dude who men will follow into battle. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And finding a way to recapture that on screen is very, very difficult. And we have all these fucking pussy male characters that are just ruining it for us, man.
You can find all kinds of masculinity on screen, dude. You just need to look at the female characters.
Yeah, man. Fucking Abby in The Last of Us.
Predator Killer of Killers is a great example. The most masculine character was the woman.
Sue Storm, like, she's just, what are we doing here? Is there some precedent for her to be the leader of the Fantastic Four, or is this just complete modern bullshit? Because I don't know much about them.
No, that's bullshit.
Okay.
She's the mother of the group.
Yeah. It's the only thing I know about them
energy.
is the leader.
She's good at getting them like Johnny Storm and The Thing always clash. She's good at getting them making up. She brings the feminine energy into it.
Mm-hmm.
And then Reed is the overarching leader. That's how it's always been.
Yeah.
But they have to switch that. But I guess that's why Pedro signed up. Not so many other actors wouldn't take that shit, probably.
Did you see him licking that lightsaber?
That's how we got the
or whatever the fuck it was. I don't know.
What was that?
It was like
gay.
Every time I see him off screen, I'm like, what are you doing, dude? He's always just doing something weird and just like,
that's how he got the role.
To his boots to the licking poles. He can act, but he's fucking weird, man.
You know what? Like, you know how at the end of this Fantastic Four movie, they go through like a time portal or whatever and end up in like the present day MCU? I want them to go through that portal and there just happens to be a TV on in the background and that lightsaber clip is playing in the background. That's all I want for the future of the MCU, in all honesty. I don't care about anything. Just give me that.
Yeah, he goes, there's a you in this universe and he's gay.
Like, he's got aura as an actor. I've liked a lot of his roles, but then you see him off screen and it just kind of ruins it. I don't want to be thinking about that when I'm watching you perform.
He's got aura.
And it seems so performative too when it comes to him. Like he knows the position he's in, trying to appeal to everybody. I don't get it.
Well, he ticks
Oh, there
every
he
check.
is. Yeah,
He's
that's what I mean.
ethnically diverse. He's gay. He's got a tranny sister.
He's gay, but he's not. It's like he does both. He does it all.
He
Do
does
you know what his
everything and anyone.
dad used to do? Are you guys aware what his dad?
Wasn't he
used to do?
some sort of lefty Marxist radical or something?
There was that, but he worked as a gynecologist essentially, and he actually got deported from the U.S. for stealing eggs from women.
What?
Oh,
Yeah, and then they immigrated back many years later, so that's why Pedro says that he's an immigrant to the States. But like
Jurassic Park was loosely based off of it.
you can find them because like they changed their names and everything. So Pascal isn't even his original last name. I can't remember his dad's original name, but when you search up the original name, you'll see the lawsuits and everything come up.
What was he doing with the eggs? Was he just eating them?
End the story.
There was a partner involved, and there was a lot of money involved.
Someone
so-
at InGen was buying them.
Hammond. You had to deal with Hammond.
Yeah. We got
Someone just
Dodgson
eating
here,
fetuses.
but no one cares.
Oh, there we go. Dave L has it. So he had to hold on. Where was it? He fled the U.S. because he was swapping around fertilized IVF eggs. There we go.
With
That's
what?
fucked up.
With dogs or something? What was he
Creative
swapping
shit,
them with?
man.
just look. Yeah, he implanted them in other women, leading to the births of 15 children by the wrong mothers, and then had to flee the country and was a fugitive for 15
Why?
years.
Why
I
would you
don't
do
know.
that? I
Maybe he
thought
was
it was
just
so funny.
incredibly bored.
He's just
Yeah.
playing God.
He's looking at the others going, hey, wouldn't this be funny? And he just takes the labels off. And just
ultimate troll. Completely.
But like, there's no money in it. It's just, I'm going to destroy 15 people's lives.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
He's a terrible person.
Fuck.
If he said it was for the lols, I'd respect him.
Why'd you do it, Mr. Pascal?
Did all
For
that,
the
and then he gave.
lols.
And he
It was
produced
funny.
Pedro.
It would be funny if you did different colors. So like the black kids would be in the white family. The dad would think the mum was cheating.
Just total chaos, dude.
He beats his wife for cheating on him, which she never did.
I should explain that one.
This guy could actually be a Marvel villain. I'd kind of like to see that. Like,
Right.
Pedro Pascal against his own father.
Yeah, better than Kang. I'll take that backstory for sure. Oh, God.
Good prank, bro.
Fucking prick. Oh, Cord.
goodness.
Speaking of this dude in the middle there, like I kind of feel bad for this Cord and Sweat guy. Like he's just got so
weird
much
last
pressure.
name.
Well, yeah, he's got a fucking weird last name. He's got a lot riding on his
Sucks.
shoulders. He's got so many people making fun of him for something that has nothing to
A
do with
lazy eye.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that too. And like you're being compared to one of the most beloved actors of the last decade, Cavill.
He has a lazy eye.
Well, his eye's slightly off, so when he
He's got
laser
one of them.
beams someone, he's gonna hit a few other people.
Slightly, yeah.
Or he goes to laser you, and
That's just-
both laser beams go past you in different
Oh.
directions. But I was saying, you are correct though. Like David Cornsweat, whatever his name is,
Yeah.
he has been
Sweat.
completely overshadowed by James Gunn.
Yeah,
James Gunn's
that
made the
too.
movie all about himself.
he hasn't had the
Superman's
opportunity to
game.
get his personality out there and really let us know what Superman means to him and give me a reason to care about his version of Superman. It's all about James Gunn. It's so frustrating to watch.
The you know what's really strange about, because I don't think his version of Superman looks particularly masculine, which is a shame. But there's a magazine cover that David Cornsweet did with Nicholas Hoult a couple weeks ago. And I had to do like a triple take because I was like, holy fuck, David Cornsweet can actually look like a man. Like this dude he was beefed up. He got this nice little like scruff going and everything. I was like, man, I would sit on that face. Where is that face in fucking Superman?
Are you listening, James? Fucking dumbass. You know what I'm saying? Like he could I feel like we can be getting more out of this dude instead of just trying to make him
Seriously.
like Cavill 2.0.
It would be
You can't
funny
replace
if Superman killed by Vex sitting on him.
What the fuck? Give us that fucking
Man of
gut-
Steel died from asphyxiation.
But I'm
Which
just
one do
I
you
like
think's
what,
going to make the most money?
what's the costume and makeup department doing here, in all honesty? Like you actually did have a really good starting point and you turned him into like a little girl basically in this movie.
What do you think of the scene where it looks, just from the trailer, he gets very emotional with Lois in the interview, and she's sitting down, she's still stoic, she's not reacting, she's not being
Oh.
She's
emotional.
acting like a bitch.
Oh
Yeah.
my god. Did you guys see that they released some of like her pieces on the internet today or like yesterday or something like that? You can see some of the headlines that she wrote about
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were all over Twitter.
Oh.
Mhm.
Anything especially dramatic, or is it just
Well, for being his girlfriend, she pens a piece called Superman Friend or Foe. So she doesn't paint him in the best light.
That scene
When
is
she
just like the 10-minute scene one, right?
Yeah, the interview's supposed to be 10 minutes.
I
and
think you need.
it's in the middle of the movie.
Yeah, that's a bit strange of a decision, but I
Supposed to
think
kill
we
the
need
pacing.
more. I think we need more context to judge the scene. But what
Yeah.
we don't need is you can still judge it as a choice that they decided to show us this version of Superman and this version of Lois, like really presenting them as he's super emotional and she's super stoic. Is that intentional, or is there something contextually that we're actually missing in the scene? It's kind of a tricky one, but I still feel like they should know how that scene would come across. And is that really what we're looking for in terms of Superman? I'm not sure.
But this is a guy that fights kaiju. And in a slight bit of question, he's like, people are going to die.
Yeah, I don't really like that. One of my favorite scenes in Man of Steel is the scene where he's arrested and he's just like, yeah, I could read your name there. And he's just basically like, I can break these off at any point. I can fuck you all up. You know what I mean? But I don't want to. I like that.
He says that. He says he puts them on because it makes them feel comfortable.
Yes, I like that. I don't get that from this dude. I like the idea of Superman having that edge to him of like, I'll play your games, but don't fuck with me, you know?
Well, he's confident. He knows he's a demigod. He's a nice guy, but he knows how strong he is. He has to intentionally hold back his strength.
Yeah,
so
demigods shouldn't be screaming and like being upset like a little girl like it was in that.
Yeah,
yeah. Well, like looking at this photo, I've seen some praise for it, but honestly, this is why they took away the trunks, because you can't be like a badass in
underwear.
It looks fucking ridiculous.
You got red panties on, bro. Like, I'm sorry.
Red fucking panties on.
The cynic? It's comics accurate. It was done in the comics.
I don't give a fuck about the comics. So burn all the comics and let's just
burn the comics.
Fucking red panties. It was a mistake. It's an alien that comes to Earth and wants to grow up as a human and do the right thing. Great concept. Why fuck it up with red panties? I just don't get it.
Everyone says they want comic accuracy until they get it like this.
Until we get this. Look at those things.
We've gone too far. This is the Sonic situation all over again.
They look bulletproof. They're so thick. I don't understand. Like, they nailed it with Cavill. I'm sorry. It's just some things need to be modernized.
I think the problem is that his costume looks more like a jacket. Like how thick and woolly it is, whereas Cavill's look like
Carhartt.
It's Cavill's skin tight, and it worked. And there isn't even a character reason. Like Captain America, you know, the whole line from close enough. We need a little old fashioned. Him being in the Avengers, him having that old school Avengers suit kind of worked because we just pulled this guy out of the ice. He doesn't even know what the fuck's going on. I like that, and him modernizing it over the course of the MCU worked.
Oh,
but
yes.
Going back to this, what are we doing? It's just I think it's a mistake that he thinks it's going to appeal to way more people than it actually is. Most people are going to be like, yeah, it looks like shit. I'm not going to watch it.
It might be the interesting test case of the theory, because I don't know if James Gunn has said this or somebody attached to the movie has said this, but they're deliberately striking for a more comic book like tone basically for the entirety of the film. And I know like lots of people will reflexively say that's what will save superhero movies. We just need to go back to the comics. I'm not convinced that's going to work. It's sort of in the same way that, you know, like anime is really popular as a kind of genre of entertainment, but 90% of it's complete bullshit. It's not dissimilar to that in the sense that there are certain things you will get really attached to because you read them as a kid that just don't translate either to the screen or to a general audience in the current day. Maybe I'm wrong. This film will be an interesting test case for how well that does perform, but like, I mean, there's already sort of the warning signs of like, you know, the abundance of characters, the very little time with which you have to do anything much with them. Some strange designs going on. The suit looks a bit odd. What's the guy with the abysmal haircut? He's in there somewhere.
Nathan Fillion.
But I just want to add
Yeah.
real quick. How do they think taking it back to the comics will save anything when since the beginning of time with superhero movies, they haven't been fully comic book accurate? Why do they think like there was this golden era where everything was completely one-to-one to the comics? It never happened. From the X-Men to Spider-Man to Superman to all the OG movies, they always made changes along the ways. What it comes down to is writing. You could put it as accurate to the comics as you want. He still is wearing a big fat diaper, bro. Like, I just don't understand what they're thinking with this one.
They've already kind of been doing the comic accurate thing. Like, just look at what Marvel's kind of been doing with killing off and then bringing characters back over and over again because, well, they're lazy. But it's like I've seen a lot of people make the justification, well, oh, it's okay that Loki has died 3 or 4 times and has his own show because that's what happened in the comics. Or for Doomsday, oh, it's okay if Robert Downey Jr. comes back as Iron Man because that's happened in the comics. So I feel like that sentiment is kind of already there with Marvel. In terms of the comic bookiness, there was a clip that James Gunn put out yesterday, I think it was. It was 8 seconds of nothing, but there was a longer clip of just like him and Nathan Fillion like just kind of joshing around on set. And you can kind of get from that, oh, this is going to be really corny in tone. It's not going to be, it's complete opposite of the Snyderverse.
Haven't they? They've had an editor, and he had to cut out loads of jokes.
I did hear that. Yep.
Trying to make it more serious, more sincere.
It looks cartoony, though. I don't have.
That's what I mean. You need someone to rein you in sometimes, man. Like a lot of the best stories have a combination of elements that make it work. You can't just have one man's creative vision just go nuts. And I feel like James Gunn has just gone off the rails with this one. They had way too much faith in him strictly because of Guardians. He made one really great movie. What else has he done? I'm not really familiar with his work enough, but I feel like he's extremely overrated.
And it can be deceptively difficult as well. Like, if they are going around cutting out like an abundance of jokes in the movie, it can be quite difficult to do that because if your script is just full of them, the script has been written to end with jokes as punchlines. If you simply go and cut out jokes, what you will probably get is quite a lot of banal dialogue that's supposed to be set up to a punchline that's no longer arriving. And in response, the dialogue quality overall is actually diminished because you've tried to fix a bad job as opposed to just rewriting the movie with fewer jokes in it. So I'm kind of interested to hear that, and as like to how the movie's actually gonna, like, what's it even gonna say? Is it gonna say anything at all? As it like can James Gunn tell a story that is less humorous than Guardians was? I'm not massively convinced. I found the headline that Vex was referencing from Lois Lane earlier. There is a paragraph of text attached to it as well. So Lois Lane's article, which says fucking nothing. As Superman's public presence grows, so does the unease on whether he is a protector or a potential danger. Studies gathered, you don't gather studies. Studies gathered show public opinion is divided. A little over half of Metropolis population hail him as a hero, while the remaining see his unchecked power as a threat. Personally, I believe our alien friend to be just that, a friend. That's it.
Funny, it is like a real journalist, and all the studies will just be hair articles.
Studies show. Yeah, there you go.
It'll just be links to other people in her building.
Are there any other movies that he's really like built his reputation off of? Because like I said, I've only really seen that one, but I feel like so much of his reputation is based off of one movie versus having, you know, part of the reason I think Spielberg is so great is that he has different types of films that are all fantastic. Is there, like, what am I missing with James? Because I'm not really familiar with him that well.
Well, he did Guardians 1, 2, and 3. Each one got worse than the last.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like most of it praise of him is all based around Guardians, and I think
He
there's
did
one good
Peacemaker,
movie.
which was terrible. Then he did was it Bright? Something where evil kid Superman,
something like that.
Brightburn.
Yeah, he did that, which is
I didn't know that he did Slither. I actually liked Slither.
I'll check that out then. I'm actually curious what else. Like, I'm not
He
like
did Super, which was really funny. That starred what's his face from The Office there.
Rainn Wilson. Yeah, that was a fun movie.
When was that?
Because
I was saying he seems to be, all his better stuff was in the past, and all his modern stuff seems to be kind of shit.
Wasn't there the story as well? Didn't he give the idea for the Infinity Stones or something? Like when the MCU was sort of struggling to find its through line, and he was the one who suggested that they make it about the Infinity Stones, which is why they're sort of quite hastily established in Age of Ultron. So
Oh.
maybe on the back of that, assuming it's not an apocryphal story, they figured, hey, this man knows how to build an entire universe because he had a good idea for one of them.
Hmm.
But like, didn't he lie? He lied about the budget,
Oh, God,
saying
yeah.
it's not 400 million. It's not 400 million. Someone showed the actual fucking tax form. He went, nah, that's not real. And now it's come out and confirmed, yeah, it is a 400 million.
He's had a couple lies over the last few years. He's just like, I don't know. It's his reputation is just
But it's pointless. There was
Ego's
no
getting to his
reason to lie. We're all gonna find out, and
Yeah.
it just makes you look bad.
it's numbers,
Well,
bro. Like, what are you thinking?
But the back to the thing of the jokes is Superman isn't a jokey character. He's not a comedic character. He's a very sincere person. He
Yeah.
fights what he believes in, and that's what's kind of endearing about him.
Yes.
Whereas if he's the punchline to the joke, which looks like it's him getting beaten up every scene, because how many times in the trailer does he get knocked out? It's like 4.
It's a lot.
Most of
yeah.
the trailer
It's
is
you.
him showing weakness rather than strength, and that
And
from
he-
the outside is what bothers me the most.
So you've got this incredibly, and he also made that comment about how he didn't want to make Superman a fascistic power fantasy.
Mm.
So,
Oh my god.
because men would be too attracted to a very strong male character, so
Are
we're
you
going to have.
serious?
Well, he said, yeah, he didn't want to make him a fascistic power fantasy.
What?
Yeah, like we're
Jesus.
all going to try and be Superman. Like we're
Jesus
going to jump off a
Christ.
building and just crush ourselves.
Treating us like we're 6, man. Like, it just
Oh my
tell your fucking
gosh.
story, bro. You don't have to add politics into fucking everything. It skews the way they see everything. Just write your story and focus on making it consistent. And they get so bogged down by that shit.
I mean,
And he
it
also
can work
felt
as long as
very
they
much-
bring him back at the end, right? So it's like one of the. I mean, I think Cynic has sort of a similar opinion as I do to Superman, which is that he's like one of the least interesting. Like a character you can do interesting things with, but on the whole, is one of the least interesting characters because fewer interesting things are done. But to establish in trailers that this version of Superman will get knocked down and beaten up, and like he will be vulnerable. He won't just be Invincible Man all the way through. Probably makes me more rather than less interested in the film. But the key to that is that you have to sort of redeem him to be this hopeful figure by the end. Show him having weaknesses because that's how you tell a story with him. But then don't leave him as an emotional wreck all the way through. You actually have to make him a hero by the close of that movie.
Well, he also lied and said, I believe in the goodness of people. Then he makes like Peacemaker, which is all like, fuck white people. I hope they die. It's like, I don't believe. He's going, I think we're going to come together as American. And I don't believe you at all. I don't think you have that. I think his idea of coming together will be submit to my ideology and we can all live happily.
Dave just made an interesting point in the chat where Clark Kent is actually way more interesting than Superman most of the time. I do like that point. Compare that to Bruce Wayne and Batman, where they're both fantastic. It doesn't have that balance. For me, it was the whole riding around the earth and just fixing all your problems by setting time. I was just like, I'm done. I'm done with you.
Yeah,
Any hero that can do
doing
that,
it's
I'm
completely broken. I hope
I remember
they don't
even as
bring
a
that power
kid.
back.
Even as a kid, I remember I was on my couch like eating something and I just stopped like, no. Like you just fucking you killed the whole movie for me. I'm done.
But it is so I guess before we move on to Fantastic Four, because there's that sort of discussion happening, which is Superman going to be like the last big chance for the superhero genre in movies? Is this the last chance they have for a really big success? If it fails, is the writing on the wall for the genre? I'm not convinced it is precisely because Superman isn't that interesting and that he's not been. Even DC's biggest earner is not Superman, it's Batman.
Right.
So even if Superman fails, I reckon there's 2 chances left. You've got Avengers Doomsday and then whatever the next Batman property happens to be. Those will probably be the bit, like if both of those fail, it's kind of done.
If an Avengers film fails, it's over. That's the one brand they have.
Yeah.
I'm not putting the fate of superheroes on fucking Superman and Corn Sweat. Like I'm not buying into that.
Is it over if, say, Doomsday and the other one come out both shit and it pauses for 5 years, then it's reboot, here's the new Iron Man?
Yes.
Would people be interested if they did that complete reboot? Here's the new Wolverine, here's new X-Men, new universe, new start. I think people would show up.
I agree.
They might.
with RDJ and Hugh Jackman, the same 5 years down the line.
Different people,
Not
different
different
people.
people. Like this is a brand new MCU timeline.
Their best
this
bet is some type of break. Like a part of the reason The Force Awakens was so successful is because holy shit, I haven't seen Star Wars in years. Let's go. I'm so ready.
Yeah.
As soon as you saw that lightsaber, everyone just fucking coomed in their pants. But you need time. You need time. Because I remember that was my main feeling of like the perfect fucking timing. I haven't thought about this in years. Let's go. But the oversaturation can kill any IP, and that's something they should have foresight for. But
Well,
here we are.
You are correct in that as well, because the Star Wars was supposed to be a run alongside the MCU. So when MCU takes a break, Star Wars is the feature. But Star Wars is fucked, MCU is fucked,
Yes,
and they
fucked
have
them both.
nothing else.
It's crazy.
They
They
have
have
nothing else.
MCU and Star Wars. This should be studied. It's got to be
Yes,
studied in the future, man.
Disney can't take a break because what else do they have? They've redone all their live action movies. They've remade them 15 times.
No, they haven't done them yet. They haven't
No,
even
'cause
started
they
the
could-
Pixar
no.
animation ones
The
yet.
Yeah.
Pixar stuff, they haven't even scratched the surface yet, and that's my biggest problem with them. Make
Many years to come.
something new. They either take successful IPs that other people made and milk them into the ground, or they milk their own IP or their own stories and completely ruin them with like Lilo and Stitch and Snow White and all this crap. But they can't make it. When's the last time they've made a story themselves, the original character themselves, done something worthwhile?
Disney never did. They
Nothing.
just stole old tales.
Fucking crooks.
Like,
Absolute
it's what
crooks.
they did.
It's fucking crazy.
The only one I've heard make money is Inside Out, but that's for like kids.
That's Pixar too. So
Yeah.
Yeah. But we're talking about very young children. Like nobody gives a fuck.
Does anyone believe this about Fantastic Four selling more tickets on its first day than any other movie this year?
nope.
No.
I don't
No.
believe that.
They said the same shit for Captain Marvel.
Yeah, I feel like this is a fucking lie.
Is there anyone here who's fans of them, like historically, like grew up with them, like comics, anything?
I grew up thinking they were lame as fuck.
Yes, same. Just like ugh.
I just remember the repeats of the 90s cartoon. And I thought, wow, this
Oh,
intro is
yeah.
very gay. It was like, fantastic. Oh, and I went, wow, this is even I'm a kid and I think this
It
is
was,
way
yeah.
too campy.
Never appealed to me
Yeah.
because I was a kid that liked Gargoyles and X-Men. I liked
Yeah.
mature cartoons where like I could watch. This feels I can watch this with my dad. Like my sister's not gonna fucking tease it, and I have to fucking cringe. Like, you know, it's like trying to watch like Yu-Gi-Oh and fucking stupid animes when you have an older sister. They'll just roast everything. You know, it's just one of those. But I liked shows that treated me like I had a functioning brain. You know, and things like this just never appealed. And I feel like they've tried it how many times now? It's just never worked.
This is try number 3. Can you believe that we'll have $1 billion Aquaman movie, but we definitely won't have one of like Fantastic Four?
Wait, isn't this the fourth attempt? Because wasn't there like a 90s?
Oh
Fantastic
yeah,
Four?
so if you want to count that,
Yeah.
that wasn't supposed to see the light of day though. It really was not. It wasn't supposed to. So
Fucking Pedro. I
have
just
you
can't
seen
see
that
him
by the
as-
way? Has anyone seen the 90s boot? There's like a bootleg of this 90s Fantastic Four movie.
No.
Well, it's
No.
fucking incredible. I will send it
Actually?
to all of you. Yeah.
I'll watch it.
Oh, it's fucking amazing.
That actually sounds funny.
Yeah, it was
Go
made
building
off
up
of
to
like
it.
it was made off of like a $10,000 budget or something.
Maybe it's
fucking
worth
great.
watching the old ones building up to this one because, like, yeah, I do remember the
Fan
Silver Surfer
Force,
scenes being kind of cool. I didn't even watch
What I was saying for Fan Force Stick is fucking miserable.
that.
It's
that
edgy,
one's a rough
gay
one.
teenage thing. It's so annoying. Whereas at least the 2000 was it 4? The
Yes.
the thing
They give it a good try.
considering the fact that the thing was a full body prosthetic. He got his voice right. I don't like this new Ben Grimm's voice. He sounds a bit too feminine.
Why does he have a bowl cut? I'm still trying to figure that part out.
think
That's
that's
an
comic.
eyebrow.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
it's an
Scowl.
I thought that was a bowl cut.
a unibrow, a big thick unibrow.
Oh no.
That's supposed to be
It's comic accurate.
Yes, exactly. It's comic accurate, so we have to accept that it looks like a turd on his fucking head. Like
It looks like
Jesus.
someone did just take a shit right across
Yeah.
his eyes.
Someone took a dump on his forehead, and they're all wearing blue socks. As they're all-
It looks like the helmet of a penis.
Yeah,
It's
he
so- yeah.
is Jewish. Indeed.
It's a Dorito
It's
turd.
uncircumcised.
Oh my god.
Imagine if he had skin, he just rolls it down. The crown is just the extra skin.
That's how he sleeps
rolls
at
it
night. He
back
just
up.
folds it down to cover his eyes. And just what I'm saying. It looks like shit. It looks like shit, but it's from the comics, so we have to fucking bend the knee and worship it. Fuck this.
God. You see how little they've advertised Mr. Stretch there? What's his face?
Pedro?
Mr.
Oh, Mr.
Fantastic. Well,
Fantastic.
because it's so fucking lame. His powers are so lame. They like don't want to show him.
Yeah, he'll only do it at the very end of the movie. Because what was that in the 2004 one where he's in the club and his fingers start like stretching?
It's just a gay
It's so
power, man.
fucking
horrendous.
stupid
Have they ever
looking.
made stretchy powers look cool, or like have they ever made it work? I think
Well,
Incredibles.
It's kind of gay as well.
Well,
But
they're
they
not
made-
creative, were they?
That movie's so good though. I still like, but you know, you might be right. That might be the only time they made it and it actually worked. But like
Mhm.
every other time, it feels like it just fails as a concept.
Agreed.
Plus, it's
It's
very
so
imaginative. Like, if you can like slide under doors, you can do so much with stretchy powers.
They don't
But
do
they
anything.
they just do big fist.
Big fist, big arm, reach up. They don't have any
Yeah.
creative ideas. It's kind of frustrating to watch.
They didn't even
Is-
dare give Kamala Khan was supposed to have the same powers, and they just turned into Green Lantern because they knew it would be like people make fun of it nonstop,
You know, in
watching
the
her big face stretch.
in the 2000s Fantastic Four movies, they did try and do clever things with his stretching ability, and it just looked it looked fucking ridiculous.
Yeah,
Like he tried going underneath a door and stuff, and it just looked really cringe.
but at least you can say that was 20 years ago, and the
Yeah.
CGI was really bad.
Mm.
They kind
You
of
can
went
make
for
a
that
finger
weird
into a kitty.
offbeat humor as well with that one. So like they never took any of the characters really seriously in those two Fantastic Four movies of the 2000s.
Yeah,
So like
they
it
had
kind
them
of worked that it
dancing
was goofy. Yeah, exactly.
with those long legs going. "Ugh." It's like, what the fuck is this?
What type of tone you think they're going for with this one? You think it'll be like serious and grounded? Or just
Family,
Marvel,
family,
Marvel
family.
humor? I know it's gonna be that.
Family.
It's gonna be blasting that
Family?
at us. Ohana.
I heard family about 30 times in the trailer. I swear to
Oh,
God,
jeez.
they're really driving that home.
You have to
gonna be
dust
about
off all
family.
those Vin Diesel memes from Fast and Furious. All through the video.
We're a
It would be
family.
funny if he showed up.
I've been trying to find because I can't find anywhere to even buy tickets for this movie because it's not out for a month or more. So I guess maybe you can buy pre-sale tickets in America and not in the UK. I was looking up the predictions for it. Apparently the early box office forecast is an opening 125 to 136 million.
That would be successful. I think.
That would be successful.
What was the budget on this again though?
Hold on. I will
It looks
Google
like they spent
that.
$4 on the Silver Surfer, so I have no idea. It's not
$4.
that expensive. Yeah, man. It's just come on, man. That
Don't
is
be
a
cheated
character
to
that
paint
should
them
be
silver.
it's just fucking shit. It's a character that should have presence on screen and like
Or what would you like it if it was Sydney Sweeney, whatever her
that
name
would be
is,
better.
and you
That'd be much
paint,
better.
just
More
painted her?
forgiving.
She's naked, but you just painted the silver.
That would be much better.
You see the
I'd
nipples and everything.
Give it.
I think Google's AI overview thing is tripping. Because I said, what is the Fantastic Four budget 2025? And it's telling me it's ranging from 6 to 700 million. That can't
What?
be right.
Yeah, that's what it says here. Production of 700 to 800 million, according to a Reddit discussion.
Oh,
Reddit is the
Well, it-
source.
This had to do reshoots though as well, right? Didn't it?
Like what was the Thunderbolts? The ending of Thunderbolts had to accommodate them coming to Earth because that was like last minute, like a month
it was,
before
but
the
they
film came out.
filmed that on the Avengers Doomsday set, though. So I don't know about how this, maybe? I have no idea. I've not heard much about reshoots for this one. I mean, I guess it had some because most movies do, but I don't know of any massive, like, scandalous number of reshoots for this one.
Because they just finished filming like a month ago, didn't they?
Oh, I heard they were
Yeah.
scrambling just lately to go back and film something.
Mm. Interesting.
Cannot find anything on the budget, which means it
Yeah.
probably cost a shit ton.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
Yeah, all I've got is 125 million debut. prediction. God, how much
does that
money is just
compare?
in Mr. Fantastic and his fucking body?
Yeah, I was gonna say, have they historically done well? Like, have they made a lot of money in the past for the other ones?
No, they've like
No.
the one that came out when I was in high school that did enough to warrant a second film, but that was it. And then they
Again,
tried to
Fan-Forstic.
reboot it, and it Fan-Forstic
Mhm,
that
that
bombed
one.
off the face of the earth.
Mhm.
Yeah,
The
Tried
the
that.
2000s ones, I just remember those being hype films because like Jessica Alba was really popular at the time.
yeah, she was
Chris
huge.
Evans was coming up as well. So it was just kind of like, oh, here's some hot actors of the time and we can do this. But I don't remember there being a lot of fanfare about those movies otherwise.
They didn't do much. It just kind of happened and moved on.
Yeah.
Yep. Bad
even,
iterations of Doctor Doom too. They were kind of shitty.
Did they?
Mm.
Even
Yeah.
the original, not the original, but the 2004 Eric Bana Hulk. They did some interesting things with like the comic book panel designs that they did. They
Yeah.
tried to really, there's
visually
interesting things
cool.
they did to make them memorable, so you can at least be like, hey, they tried something.
Mhm, mhm.
But yeah, Fantastic Four just had no like legacy for some reason. I don't know.
Well, all those films were kind of their own thing. Like the Incredible Hulk thing was not connected to Fantastic
Yeah,
Four
They
or
have
the
a
X-Men.
stupid
They were
MCU.
like at most you would get as a trilogy, and then you'd be
Yeah.
done with it.
I like to refer to that pre-MCU era as like the wholesome era, where you just tried to make good films or as comic book accurate as you can get, but still appealing to new audience. I feel like their heart was in the right place in that era, and then it just became the money machine of the MCU.
Mm. Was there an end scene in the first Iron Man movie that like tied it into a bigger universe?
Yeah, the setup for Nick Fury, and they got everything from there.
Oh,
And I think that was
okay.
added on after. I'm pretty sure after Iron Man was a big success. So like it all started from Iron Man just blowing up. Like we can work something off of here, and it led
And
into the
then
Avengers. But then they
Edward
lost the way. They
Norton-
think they could do that on their own.
Edward Norton just disappeared, and it's Mark Ruffalo.
I know. And you know what sucks? He had so many better ideas for the Hulk. The reason that character just got wasted is because Ruffalo's a fucking pussy. He just had no backbone. Edward
Yeah.
Norton is called difficult, but it's because he's an actual, a creative. He's talented. He had a different idea for Hulk. Like there's an alternate opening to the Incredible Hulk where he tries to kill himself.
What?
And it's referenced. It's in my MCU video. I actually referenced it in that. And the different version, they had a different path. They were going to take Tony, adopting the demon in a bottle arc, exploring the effect that alcoholism had on him, and they were going to also do a different direction with Hulk, exploring like this. Literally, it starts with him trying to shoot himself, and he catches the bullet, and Hulk spits it out. Like it's you can see it on YouTube. It actually exists.
Oh my gosh.
It sucks. They just nerf these things into the ground. Hulk is one of the most interesting concepts of all of Marvel, and we got Mark Ruffalo's big loser green machine. Like I don't understand.
Because he gave an interview where he was like talking about the process with Kevin Feige, and because Feige said like, well, you're never going to get your own movie because of the right situation, but tell me what story you would want to tell with the Hulk, and we'll incorporate it over like 6 or 7 movies. So naturally, Mark Ruffalo's idea was, let's turn the Hulk into me, just a giant green cock monster.
Yeah, loser.
Oh.
Where in the first the Edward Norton one, you see him training with like a yogi master, trying to perfect his breathing, doing all of these things he can do to control his anger, and it's a serious part of his character. And it's just they respected the concept of Hulk, like every bit of the lore. Everyone shits on that movie because it kind of turns to crap towards the end. The villain's kind of lame, but in terms of representing Hulk, it's probably one of the best. That and the beginning of the first Avengers.
I like that they forgot that, because I remember he had the watch to monitor his heartbeat and everything to make sure it didn't go over. And then by the second Avengers movie, just like, sun's getting real low, big fella.
Sun's getting real low, bro. Just there. Just tickle his balls and he fucking turns back.
Right.
It's so stupid, man. Like the whole thing of him like trying to actually control his, because that's a real thing. If you have to master your breathing, you control your breathing, you control your body.
Yeah.
And incorporating that into his character is something that I think an intelligent person like Bruce Banner would do and master. And it was a good sign, and they just forgot it. Like you said, you don't have to watch
Completely
ever
forgot
again.
it, Because that's the reason why he couldn't get together with Liv Tyler's character, because she wanted to, get in those pants, and he was like, my heart rate can't take it.
Yeah, you
But
couldn't
then-
have sex because I'll fucking kill you, bro. Like that's a
Right.
crazy concept.
But then
Like,
by
play with it.
Avengers 2, him and Scarlett Johansson are trying to figure out a romance, and that's a
Yeah.
completely irrelevant
You would
plot
never believe that they're not fucking because he's a fucking loser and he just can't get it up. Like that's it. Versus the original one with Norton, this is a problem. He would fucking crush her if he can, but he doesn't actually want to kill her. That's way more interesting. I'm sorry.
Is it a
Oh.
Oh
bird?
god, oh jeez.
Is this like I couldn't tell if this was like a C or an AI or what.
Fucking pigeon. Like, what is that?
Look at that.
Is this actually officially that? Is this is real?
I don't know. I couldn't tell.
I hope this is a meme. Like I hope this is.
Well, it says
It's got a
well.
beak with teeth.
Oh
I don't
my
know
God.
if the image is from the Hollywood Reporter, but the reported budget of $180 million is from the Hollywood Reporter.
Fucking sequel. Can't be what Jurassic Park has come to. I'm like crying over this, man. This is so bad.
I'll still go see it in IMAX, though.
You know,
The
that's
first
probably
movie-
more realistic.
Oh man. The first movie I ever saw in theaters was Jurassic Park. I have a special connection to this franchise, and this
Yeah.
is you showed me this bird. I'm just I can't, man.
Isn't
Was-
the whole... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, it's believable only because we know what like one of the big monsters in this movie is that they've crossbred velociraptors with some flying thing to create flying velociraptors.
The
So
thing-
Oh fuck
Yeah.
you. Fuck you, whoever's
I
idea
thought,
that.
wasn't the whole thing that they were going back to one of the islands from Jurassic World? Isn't that the premise?
no, this is a different island because to be fair, it works in the sense that I think there's a 5-island chain because they call it the Cinco Muerta or whatever it is in the Lost World. This is a third island we've not been to before.
They could just invent an
Um,
island anytime they need a new Jurassic Park.
Well, they've
story.
got 3 more they can fuck around with, right? This is on one of them. And apparently, this is the island where InGen did all of their experiments to create the dinosaurs that you saw in Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, The Lost World, whatever the fuck. So
Okay.
this is the experiment island where they made flying velociraptors for reasons and the Distortus Rex also for reasons. When
Distortus.
this was never the point of making these dinosaurs in
John
in Jurassic
Hammond
Park.
was amazed by the rapper. You see all the scientists, everything. The dinosaurs were amazing on their own. I refuse to believe that he had a separate park where he's mixing them with fucking seagulls and pigeons and shit to make these fucking
Was it-
monstrosities. It
was
just
it
that's not
Pedro-
Hammond.
Was it Pedro Pascal's dad just swapping the eggs over?
Yeah. Pedro Pascal's fucking pops might do that shit, but not Hammond. Like,
That would
I will
be
watch that.
She
back
was
then.
Dodgson the whole time. I knew it.
that would be genius if you
man.
hired him and made him do it.
The one role Pedro actually would work in.
Oh, jeez. That is fucking funny. I can't stop laughing at this picture. I just can't.
This is
This is what
ridiculous.
it's
But
come
then,
to.
like, if you've built flying velociraptors and they're out, why did no one know about them? Because they can fucking
Yeah.
fly. Unless they're caged up somewhere and no one broke into it or the cage stayed like functional. Maybe they'll do that because there is an atrium scene that they haven't abused yet.
And why didn't the people in Fallen Kingdom that were going to the islands to capture all the dinosaurs? Why haven't they captured them? Why weren't they sold on auctions and everything? It's just you're
Well, yeah,
forgetting.
because that
what
was
part
the
of
point, right?
know?
The whole point of
Yeah.
Fallen Kingdom was we had to go and rescue them because the volcano is going to go off and there aren't any dinosaurs anywhere else. We have to go and save them
Exactly.
because
Well,
otherwise
that's
they'll all go extinct again. But that's not true because they're on this island and they're probably still on the first island too.
And that, yeah, it was never true even in that movie. They referenced, I can't remember, Sorna and Nubla, those are the 2 islands, but
Yeah.
they referenced them, but then they ignore the continuity of it, like completely. They'll have like Ian Malcolm's line, but they forget that there's dinosaurs on that fucking island. The whole
Actually,
franchise is
they retcon it in the 3rd movie, Dominion, because it turns
Oh,
out the
fuck,
island that
fuck,
had the eruption, only half the island was damaged by the
Yeah.
eruption. So there
Yeah,
was
and the
still a
Mosasaurus-
whole other half.
the Mosasaurus somehow goes from being in the middle of the island to literally just free to go into the ocean, and they're all living in peace. They have the fucking guys like using the line to back up the fucking long neck dinosaur. I can never remember its name. But they're all living in Brachiosaurus. They're all living in harmony together. It's horseshit. Dominion is like one of the worst movies ever made that people don't talk
Yeah.
about enough. Is one of the worst movies.
Because
It's
aren't there
so bad.
dinosaurs all over the world now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So So the whole point is we need to get these extra incredibly dangerous dinosaurs from this island that even Jurassic the Park couldn't contain. Why?
Well, oh no, this one is they're doing the Avatar thing. I'm pretty sure this one they have to go because there's some sort of magic goo in their embryos that
Oh, no
allows
more
people to
goo.
cure disease.
No
I
more
think
goo.
that's why they're going.
I'm
Why
all
is it
gooed out
always
after
the magic
Prometheus.
goo?
It's always the goo from Quantumania to Prometheus. Anything with
It
fucking
always
goo.
is. And the scary thing is, I don't think I've made that up. I might have hallucinated it, but I'm sure I read that's the premise for this movie. We're going there to cure cancer, basically.
Yeah, actually, you're right. So the team's objective is to locate 3 of the largest remaining prehistoric species from land, sea, and air. The biomaterials of these creatures holds the key to a revolutionary drug capable of saving countless human lives.
How would you even know that? If you don't
How?
have the material, how would you even know that?
This
need
was
to
like
have-
this was like a premise they did introduce in the World movies, and it actually was touched in the first Jurassic Park book, in that like there's stuff in the DNA and the how they decided to put the dinosaurs together, which could have been used for other things, which is why they kind of played around with the idea of like dinosaur super soldiers for a time in the late 90s and early 2000s.
Fuck off, man. The whole scene with the amber freezing the mosquito, and that's how they got the fucking dinosaur's blood. That was mind blowing for me as a kid.
Yeah.
Like, that fucking
was
makes
awesome.
sense. I get it.
Yeah.
And they have the display so a little kid can actually appreciate and like just understand science in an inexorable way. But they've taken something like that was grounded and believable and turned it into a fucking joke. The laser raptors, the disappearing fucking T-Rex. It's a joke. And the fact that they don't have the talent to make dinosaurs scary, it's embarrassing. I will forever for reference the raptors in the kitchen as one of my favorite horror scenes.
You know,
Fantastic tension, and they'll never get close to that ever again.
there's a scene, there are 2 scenes in the first novel which I'm surprised of all the Jurassic Park movies we've gotten there they haven't been used. So there's one scene where those the little tiny dinosaurs that you see in the Lost World,
Compsognathus.
yeah, so they end up eating a baby in its crib in the
Yes.
opening of the novel, and then John Hammond towards the end of the novel ends up being picked apart alive by them as well.
Oh,
And, like,
Well, they
yeah,
sort of borrowed it. So they borrowed John Hammond's death for the Lost World movie, but they gave it to the soldier guy when he
Yeah.
runs
Yes.
away. And then
Tries
the
to take a
extended
piss.
version, like he dies more. And then the opening scene, which is really quite like hauntingly dark, they sort of play around with at the beginning of the Lost World because you got the family going on the yacht holiday kind of thing.
Mhm.
So
They're not
it's
gonna have the
like,
girl get killed though. They pussied out a little bit.
yeah, they pussied out on that. So like, they sort of reuse those bits. This movie is going to be using a bunch of scenes that were in the book but didn't make it into any of the films. So you've got the raft ride down the rapids while they're being chased by the T-Rex in the water, which I think is
Mhm.
featured in the trailers. That comes from the book.
Yep.
There's probably I'm going to reread it before the movie
I
comes
was
out
gonna
to see what
ask,
else
are
they're
they-
stealing. But
Are they worth checking out? I
Oh, yes.
I like
Oh,
them,
yes.
Mm.
like
I
John
think-
Hammond is way better in the movies than in the books. The characters are better
Yeah,
in the
he's-
movies than they are in the
yeah,
books. But there's some
him-
really interesting discussions and ideas in the books that don't quite make it to the film.
Him and Viserys are always my quick counters for when people talk about my comics are in the books. Shut up. Shut up. Doesn't mean it's always better. Like Hammond and Viserys, clean counters. Kiss
You
my
know,
ass.
hot take, like Jurassic Park is a good movie, but I think it's a terrible adaptation of the
Yeah.
source material.
Yeah.
I had a moment where I couldn't distinguish the two, but now that I've had some time to sit with it, I can say that. I haven't read The Lost World though, because I have read from a lot of people that it's not only is it not as great as the first book, but Michael Crichton was kind of persuaded nicely by Steven Spielberg to write it so that Spielberg could make the sequels. So
Yeah, and then
Jurassic
he
Park
only
was
took
never
like
supposed to have
2
his name.
things from the books too.
Right, exactly.
sucks.
So
All that just for 2 scenes.
for real, yeah.
Actually, it was 1 scene. The only thing he took was the concept of the second island, and then when they were pushing the bus over the ledge. I think that was
In
it.
the second movie,
Yeah, in
or
the
in the
second
second book?
movie. Yeah. Those are the only 2 things that Spielberg took from the second book.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
the book was pretty good. And he came up with all these concepts, but Spielberg didn't take any of them. So
Yeah, and
Yeah,
yeah,
that
even
sucks.
for the second movie, he completely undoes Ian Malcolm as a character to just make sure that certain elements happen in that second movie. But then Ian Malcolm just goes back to being Ian Malcolm for the rest of the movies, which is really strange.
mm.
Hmm. As long as we don't get another Dominion, like I keep saying, I don't think it can get worse than that. So
I know, but they always can. Shite finds a way. It's it's gonna happen.
you can't, man. The locust, the damage to Alan Grant. I think that's one of the biggest parts of Dominion for me. Bringing back the original characters and making a fool out of them. You can't. They're gonna be a bunch of new characters and stupid dinosaurs. I'm not gonna feel anything for them.
At least we're not
So,
doing that again. That's true. I don't think any of the main cast are returning because
Yeah.
they've replaced them with Scarlett Johansson. But even then, like Dominion will do damage to this movie because if the plot is, well, we have to go to the island to find like the legendary Pokemon of air, land, and sea to get the magical goo.
Yes.
Well, why not just go to the facility from Dominion where there are loads of dinosaurs running around? They weren't all killed by the fiery locusts. They're all over the place. Just use those.
The underground club has got a whole bunch of them down there.
Yep.
People were just chilling
yeah.
and gambling around. They've turned dinosaurs.
Oh yeah, there's a flourishing
jokes.
black market trade for weaponized dinosaurs now.
Yes.
It's just
Whatever you
It's-
want. You can find them online, fucking Kijiji. Like it's just no problem, man.
The way they explain this in apparently this, because this is 5 years after Dominion, right? So apparently only now has Earth environments become inhospitable for dinosaurs, and the remaining ones are only in like remote, like tropical, locales and whatnot.
But
So
that
that's
was the
how they
point
explain
of
it.
Dominion setting itself up in the Alps or wherever the fuck that they
Yes.
created an artificial environment so they could live. They've been on
Yeah.
the islands for decades at this point.
Yeah, you have him riding on the horse trying to wrangle I don't know my dinosaurs. A big ass dinosaur. Okay? Trying to wrangle it like it's a fucking horse. And it's just you can't have those scenes and then pretend suddenly this is a place is inhospitable for them.
Still gonna see it in IMAX.
And I just oh god.
It's another one of those. It's like Alien and Predator. I just like dinosaurs, so I'll go watch dinosaurs.
They're not
this
even
is the-
dinosaurs anymore, though.
But this is the
That's
difference.
fair.
Those three films have a concept that's keeping them alive. These don't. They just have fucking dinosaurs. Just dinosaurs.
They
They
just
don't
have
a story to tell
kaiju.
for them. That's it.
They've
Treating them
Godzilla
like-
villains.
Yeah.
Mhm.
At least do something. I don't know.
Yeah. We do have a ton of super chats here.
All right.
Toivo, our boy, says, "My balls remain locked in blue, platoon."
Yeah, that's the Gollum stream. I thought I was going to get to the lock ball section in that last stream. I had no idea how long chapter 7 was. So we're going to be keeping our balls locked until the next stream, which could be a week or so away.
Toivo also gifted 5 little platoon memberships.
Welcome.
Type Zero, what a surprise! The chick made BSUP late in the game.
Mhm.
The gist with Jared. What are the panel's thoughts on Google's VO AI tech? Crazy to imagine where we'll be in as little as 5 years. Happy to see Vex back on the show.
Thank you.
I hope every girl on OnlyFans is replaced by Indians.
What?
I hope it's like all these people going, "Yes, Rebecca, I love you," and there's some Indian going, "I love you too, sir."
That's the future. It's the future of OnlyFans.
All these pathetic men are fucking wanking off to Indians doing the mocap session in their
That's what they deserve,
bedrooms.
though, man. OnlyFans is such a fucking pathetic exchange. Like it's functioning. It can only function because of the amount of pathetic and lonely men out there, and we need to fix that. Reduce
Do you
that
know-
number, and OnlyFans isn't viable.
What's worse, most people on OnlyFans are married. Like if you're
Yeah.
single, you watch porn.
It's crazy. It's free. It's fucking free. It's right there.
Yeah, it's like statistically in the US, it's like 1 in 10 male OnlyFans subscribers are married or something like that.
That's not
Actually, it might be more than that. Because
One
there's
way
like
more
10.
than that.
I mean, 10%'s not as
no,
many as
I think it is
thought.
more than that because there's 85 million male OnlyFans users in the United States alone.
What?
Yeah, yeah, I know that's
Wow.
crazy, right? I maybe it is half of them or almost half of them are married. I could be wrong about that one, but yeah, there's 85 million in the U.S.
It says a significant portion, studies find that up to 90% of OnlyFans users are married men.
Oh,
You're
I got the
married
numbers
and you're
inverted.
still miserable and lonely. Like this is like a problem, man. Like it's just that's fucked up.
No one's fucking their husbands.
The fuck.
Fuck.
But it's like I don't understand. You can buy a prostitute, you can cheat on your wife. There's so many better
Yeah,
alternatives.
there's so many
than
cheaper
paying
options.
Because you are cheating on your wife, you're just not getting sex. You're paying some random. You're paying them thousands of dollars as well.
Cheating
I never
is
understand that.
free. That's what I mean. There has to be something more to it. There's something about the parasocial aspect to it of just like the live. They get off on that. It has
But
to
you
be
get
more than
like messages, right? Like you can, but then it establishes that really nefarious thing where it's like, well, the more I donate, the more I'll get messages seemingly from this person, and it seems like they're paying attention to you. Where I guess most of them probably employ someone to do messaging for them.
Actually, they
then
do. There's whole firms that like you can get a business manager if you're an OnlyFans star, and if you're big enough, they hire people to respond to the messages on your, and you can make some bank
100%.
doing that. Actually, surprisingly,
100%.
sorry.
God,
maybe I'll do
They're
that.
not
Maybe
giving-
I'll create like an AI version of me but female and just stick it on OnlyFans and make it do stuff for money. It's not technically prostitution if it's not you doing it. It's just your likeness, right?
imagine that's
Yeah,
your
they're
job.
trying to
You
make it self-sustaining. Like that's what they do with a lot of these reaction videos now. They'll pull up like a clip from Steve Harvey or Joe Rogan and have a reaction face, and there's like 30 of them, and they'll just play some video that has nothing to do with what they're reacting to, and just trying to make it sustainable completely. This is like a different version of that. Just keeping the money flow going by responding to these freaks.
But
But,
imagine that's how you describe your job. Well, I talk to depressed married men and trick them into thinking I'm a woman and get them to show pictures of their dicks at me in exchange for money.
It's an honest living.
Sounds like a hell of a deal to me.
I've got about 50 men I'm currently tricking.
It's fucked up.
Zeddy Boy says, I recommend Predator if it bleeds. 16 short stories across time of predators fighting Vikings, samurai, soldiers, and space marines.
Oh, writing that down. Actually, thank you.
Gallster 1908. Hello there. Recently rewatched the first 3 Alien movies. Still love them to bits. I get depressed when I look at media today. The soulless waste written by fart sniffing imbeciles.
Yep.
Vast majority of it, yeah.
It's going to get worse.
Rolando A. Ramirez. Okay, so action good, story shit. I'll see you on YouTube.
Guess it's in relation to Ballerina.
Yeah, I would think. No, wait. It came in at 424. Were we talking about Predator still?
Predator. Oh, the action isn't. I mean, it's kind of cool, some of it, but because the animation is just so janky, it's not an animation that's well suited for action. Like this should have just been straight 2D animated instead of whatever this is.
No, I remember doing the Prey stream with Nia, and like the conclusion was just show us Predator punching bears and fighting wolves in the forest. And you know, that's all. We're not really desperate here, but we would rather that than the shit that they're doing. Just showing a Predator in his day to day. Because I really like the idea of him going through all the hierarchies of the animal and like understanding the dynamics and seeing them learn. Like just 20 minutes of that, just seeing a Predator on its first hunt. So many things you can do, but they feel like they're just doing the same shit over and over again.
Yep.
Pie Guy says, I think they should drop Predator onto Pandora so he can end the Avatar franchise for good. They'll drop him in Middle Earth 2 to end season 3 of Rings of Power.
Predator versus Skyladriel. I want to see that.
Yeah.
Her fucking screaming at him. The stupid face. Her fucking angry little fucking hobbit face. Ugh. Whatever happened to the Harfoots? Like, did they just get? All I remember of season 2 is they got blown away in like a fucking hurricane or some shit. I haven't thought about them since.
They found a bunch of Harfoots with gardens in the middle of an arid desert.
Oh yeah,
and they all had West Country English accents because people who live in the desert have like English farm accents.
One of the most pointless side stories of all time. Fucking Nori.
I don't believe that Rings of Power is real. Like, I still have not watched anything from this show, even reviews. And every time someone talks about it, I'm just like, this can't be a real show that's out there. They didn't really. Are you serious?
It's close.
Gandalf's name is when some hobbit goes, "All right, Grand Elf."
He's a great big grand elf. I guess it's fucking so lame, and
I want
it
to punch
actually
that
feels
fucking
like a show
hobbit.
written by AI. Like a lot of people make
Oh,
that joke, but this is one of those examples.
Someone did like a 2-hour response video to my Rings of Power video.
You should
Really?
dissect that on
Oh, we should
BSUP.
definitely go
Let's do
through
it again. Let's do it again. That was fun.
Yeah.
Reaper's got to be on. Actually, it's
This
funny.
guy's-
Vex was on for the last one. Reaper, you got to be on for one of those.
This guy is a Rings of Power fucking like mega fan.
Those
What?
exist?
Okay, please. Please.
You have
we
not
gotta do
seen
this.
what I have seen.
How do you
Mega
be
fan.
a mega fan of that shit? Like, tell me how.
Has he got extra chromosomes?
We'd have to watch and find out, I guess. Maybe we'll have to do an episode on that. Neil says Marvel needs to change how they make movies. Yeah,
Mhm.
maybe they will. Intent Matter says, I took a sip of water just as Reaper was describing middle-aged sorceress in the Wheel of Time with sharp chins that could cut through a vault door, and I legit almost drowned. Fucking hell, man.
I'll send you the picture. I've got a picture. I've sent you a picture of her face. Sick.
Did you?
Man, she is. It's like you could hit.
Oh,
She
yeah.
looks like one of your
Oh my
squirrels
god.
and eats a bunch of walnuts and he store them in the side of the cheeks.
Hang on.
Yeah, it's horrendous.
Wow.
She looks like a
Wow.
squirrel that's eaten about 50 nuts.
Wow.
Holy shit. What the fuck?
That's
Shit, all the
crazy.
nuts. Holy fuck, her mouth is
That's it,
full.
look. Her cheeks are wider than her jawline.
You could like she's acting here, so I'm gonna assume she doesn't actually have walnuts in her mouth. But imagine she did. Like, what would that look like? How much further can it go?
She did what
Like,
Marlon Brando did for
the
the
star.
Godfather, you know?
Yes.
Really invested in the role.
That's
Looks like
probably
a
the most
poster for
flattering.
someone who's like allergic to bee stings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Swollen.
Yeah. She needs an EpiPen stat.
Yeah. What was that movie Macaulay Culkin died in?
Oh, My Girl.
Yeah. That's the right as he was dying. That was his luck.
But you see her, if you see her face flat, like straight on, she looks like she's been run over by a steamroller. Her head's like a square. It's horrendous.
She kind of looks like
You're
something
wrong.
I would make in a character creator. In all
Yeah, like
honesty.
just smacked up
She looks like when you're
all
just
the way
like
through. Just
you
Right,
hand the
when you
controller to a
max
kid
out
and
the
he's-
cheekbones and everything. Like,
fucking Quagmire, man. Especially when you have her compared to a normal lady over here. Just like, wow, 'cause she actually has nice cheekbones.
Fuck, how much mileage can we get out of this picture?
It's fucking gross.
She's supposed to be a young, beautiful fucking witch.
Oh,
But she
the
looks like
context makes it even worse. Yeah, you're right.
she looks like she can take a punch from Mike Tyson.
That's Goblin.
good lord.
She looks like she can take a punch from Tyson. Yeah.
Yeah. Tank.
That granite jaw. I mean,
She would not be phased, dude. She would eat that shit.
she'd break his hand.
Oh, God.
Oh my god.
But what does it
But
say about
every-
them that this is their idea of like someone who's looking for eternal youth, and you still have this fucking block face like
That's
Minecraft?
pretty crazy. Yeah, that is pretty crazy.
Man, you could use her to like cut stone.
Yeah,
Like a chisel.
Minecraft.
Just use her head.
She is how the aliens made the pyramids.
She is one of their gods. Those fucked up statues.
Yeah. She was the gift that the aliens bestowed upon the Egyptians. The tool they needed.
You know, they probably had her face and they went remove the head and replace it with a bird.
What the fuck?
That's probably where all the Egyptian gods come from. They just
It's
her
like a
face.
Mars attack.
Is that the actress though, or is she like fucking?
That's the
what's going
actress.
on
Like
there? Okay,
every season, like she was bad in the first season. Her cheeks kept getting more and more sharper. I thought she was eating most scenes, but she isn't. That's her resting face. Man, if she was eating, I honestly God, with that mouth, she could probably swallow that girl's head whole.
A face hugger would have fun on that face.
You couldn't hug. It needs 3 of them to kind of lash around the back of the head.
Futile. Right.
Have to team up.
I just Google the first thing that comes up if you Google the actress's name is just Kate Fleetwood. It's the actress's name. Jaw surgery.
Oh, jeez.
Oh no.
Cheeks.
That sucks.
She's the Michael Jackson of
Yeah.
fucking chins, dude. Oh no.
I got whiplash when I saw her in season 2. I was like, fucking hell. Was you in a car crash?
That's why they must be trying to make a point with her. I always feel that way. The same thing with like Bella Ramsey. They're trying to make like the whole gaslighting with her as Ellie is like getting out of control. There's got to be like a point behind it they're trying to make.
Yeah, like women aren't this hideous.
Mhm.
It's like we've gone to like the circus and we found a freak show and went, we'll pick some of them for our main stars. Girl with the granite jaw, we'll pick her for a fantasy show.
You've never had
Ramsey's-
to be. You've never had to be gorgeous to have a leading role or anything like that. Like a lot of the iconic female characters aren't fucking supermodels. You know what I mean? But they have this
Right.
thing now where they just put these ugly chicks and try to like gaslight us into saying that they're not ugly. You know what I mean?
Oh
Just,
my
I don't
god.
get it.
She looks like a Freddy Krueger victim.
It's a poor woman.
Hang on a second. Let me. They say, no, she is, man, I don't know what surgeon, but he needs to go to jail.
And,
I've got, there's another thing. I've got all of Bella Ramsey's faces.
Oh no.
it's like the Drew
I'll try and
Carey
get
one.
some.
There's
where
so
is
many
it?
of them, man. Like she's just like meme fucking. There's just so many things you could do with that face.
I'll-
It's so versatile.
I'll send. Here's a acting range if I can find it. So that's the 6 faces of Bella Ramsey.
Oh my
Then I'll
god.
I'll show you some of the memes I've got. They are pretty mean.
Oh my god. Number 2.
5's the
Yeah, I like 5 a lot.
Well, yeah,
You
5
can
is
hear
really
that
good.
one.
That was the one I
just-
was gonna use for
Just taking a painful shit in number
Right.
6 for sure.
Oh,
The fuck is
Five
going on?
looks
in
like
3?
which is the meme of the little girl who's running away with an ice cream from someone who's chasing her. She looks like that meme.
Yeah, she does, dude. I know what you're talking about.
There's one you'll need to zoom in on because it's a collage of all her faces.
oh no.
I've sent you a few more.
Oh my
Bella.
fucking god, dude. This one is a nightmare.
She is my muse.
Oh
Oh my god. 1 for 1.
my
Holy shit.
Jesus. Yeah, her career is. I don't know where she goes from here.
What are you talking about? That is beauty perfect.
That is a terrifying potato.
Fucking gross.
Uh,
Jeez.
She could be in the next Scary Stories movie.
Oh,
There you
God.
go. She's actually
Oh, God.
perfect for that. She's got a career in horror.
there's-
Let's
What the fuck? I haven't even
there's
seen
a-
this one.
the-
The Kevin James one went viral, but I haven't even seen these.
Well, I'm saying I've got the collage with all of them on. This is the next one. This is
Oh wow.
you'll have to zoom in because it's
There it
basically
is.
her face on all of
Batman.
them.
Batman.
Wow.
So
That's
you've got Mr. Incredible, Dr. Evil, Kratos, Shane from The Walking Dead, Bilbo, Buzz Lightyear.
oh my
goodness.
god. These are fucking amazing. I
All
can't
started from that Kevin
Yeah,
James one. I feel like that
that's
just
amazing.
spawned like a whole army of them.
yeah.
The Shining one at the bottom left.
I'm
The
going to
fucking
one.
Aliens one.
I'm something of a potato myself.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. But she actually looks like more normal in these, which is kind of a shame.
Yeah, her face works better on other people's head. I don't know.
Right. A face meant for memes.
I like the way my message box is just full of sending cynic this.
That's a good one.
There's a Buzz Lightyear one. Let's see what.
Oh my god!
Yeah, that one. Is
Oh,
fucking...
this is a real one. This is an undoctored one. After the.
Just
Honest to
slap the
God,
cap on
she
the
looks
little
like she
kid.
should live under a bridge, and like try and trick children with sweets.
How much is
next
the
one-
troll toll, sir?
This is a real one.
Oh God.
That's not even like
Oh.
edited or anything.
No, that she looks like Megamind, but like without not blue. Her brain is like coming out of a skull.
She
the
looks
fucking-
like
The,
the
dude
villain.
in the fucking Power Rangers, like the big fucking bald dude that they would talk to and fucking get their orders from.
What? She looks like Lord Zed.
Yeah.
She looks like the villain from the Brave New World this year.
Oh my god. Oh yeah, it's fucking broccoli head. Yeah.
What's that
Will we
story?
ever see him again? Is he gonna come back in the MCU?
Oh,
or
fuck
is he
no.
done? We need all the forgotten characters of the MCU just to come back and have their own movie, like the Thunderbolts, like Broccoli Head, Gaia, all the fucking people that are just completely forgotten, man. These fucking shit characters they've invented.
Like even like bits like I've even got one where she's got like a space helmet. A normal one.
Yeah, she looked like Zordon. That's what it is.
Yes,
Zordon.
there we go.
Oh, she does. That's brilliant.
Oh my god. You never remembered that dude's name. It's been a while.
Ranger.
I'll never forget the imagery of that big, thick, bald skull. And it just
There's
poor
one
Bella.
like she just her face. Like I sent you one where she's just putting a space helmet on, and she's got this like goblin face. Oh,
are you,
she's
are
just,
you gonna be using these for the thumbnails?
oh, I know in my video. I'm
Oh,
basically
yeah.
saying, as bad as the show was, she's been a source of just infinite joy.
Yeah. There's fucking the amount of memes and thumbnails I've seen with this chick is fucking crazy. The one with her face completely shrunken down.
God, I'm just. Although I hope the police don't get my laptop. I've just got pictures and pictures.
I
Of
know,
it.
trying to explain that shit. I swear I'm a YouTuber.
Well, is another one cynic? Just,
Oh
I'm
my
gonna
God.
die. I'm gonna die.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's fucking disgusting. That's fucking disgusting.
So she's
So-
my muse.
Alarming. She's my muse. Fuck.
But like I've seen
God.
pictures of her like red carpet stuff. She looks normal. She looks fine. It's like
That's not her.
I don't.
that's a
It's
double.
not her. Who is it
The
then?
real Bella Ramsey is under a bridge in all around. They go, we need a girl that looks semi-human. She's a body double. Or she's like a witch, and after she like eats a fetus, she kind of looks younger and normaler. Then she has to run back to her home before the potion wears off. Like in the premiere, her hand goes all long and gangly.
She's got
That's-
enough money to do anything she wants to that face now.
Yeah,
So
it's true.
she doesn't have to be stuck with it.
Oh, you can't fix that. I mean, that's like aging. That's a forever problem. I mean, how much forehead would you have to remove? You could build a pyramid out of the bone she has.
Or she could just like do the hair plugs, just make her hairline shorter.
I think a plastic bag over her head, and then as tight as possible to stop the air. I think it's the only way to cure her. She would, even her skeleton, you dug her up and go, well, that's a Homo erectus. That's a long lost human species we've never found.
Neanderthal. Completely.
I've never seen this skull shape before. It's a new line of human.
Fucking rewrite history with her fucking skull. Vex is right though, man. Like
She's the
bangs would
first
really
mutant,
help her
dude.
significantly, man. Like she would reduce like 25% of that forehead.
she'd
It's
look
just one of
normal. Like
one of
she'd look
those
like a solid 2 or 3 out of 10 if she just put bangs on.
Solid 2 or 3.
my whole theory. My whole theory on Bella now is like we've been fucking roasting this child for like 5 minutes straight, and a part of the reason is the gaslighting. Had they not done all that with the casting, saying, "Oh, she's great," you guys are just fucking pricks. Like I don't think people would be this comfortable completely roasting her. But they fucking the idea of trying to portray her as Ellie when we have so many other good candidates was just frustrating. So like,
Well,
what do
this
they
is-
no? You get what
This
we
is
just
a common
heard.
tactic by Neil Cookman. Neil Cookman will get very intentionally seek out unattractive women, or in his game, he'll make an attractive woman very ugly in
Yeah.
order to draw. Do you want them to serve as a lightning rod? You had Nadine Ross in Uncharted 4, ugly masculine woman. Abby, ugly masculine woman. Bella Ramsey,
Yeah.
troll.
They do the same
Is it-
thing in Disney, man. Look at Rose Tico in The Last Jedi. They put her in like
Yeah.
a potato sack when
They're
she's actually a
human
pretty girl.
shields. That's what they are, the lightning rods. They want them to be attacked, and I'm more than happy to do it. They want them to be attacked so that they can come to their defense and show off to their peers. Now, again, I will make fun of it because it's funny, but it is playing into his game, because that's his game, is to throw women under the bus to protect himself. He's
Have
a
you
male
guys-
feminist.
Have you guys seen the deep fakes of Callie Spaney in The Last of Us instead of Bella Ramsey? There's
The
a
chick
bunch of
from Romulus.
No.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them you can find online, but a lot of people have just taken like shots from the show and they've just deep faked Callie Spaney's face onto her, and it's a world of a difference. I highly recommend you check them out. It's just like, what the actual fuck were
Even
they
the
thinking
girl-
casting Bella Ramsey?
The girl who played Rain in Alien Romulus literally just chuck her in there. She has the hair and everything. She looks
That's
exactly
it's
like
that
Ellie.
girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
that's
that's her
Alien
name?
Yep, Callie Spaney. Yep.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And Dave
it's-
makes the point as well. It's also like KVS and Outlaws. Like the actress is actually kind of attractive, like normally, but
Yes.
somehow when put onto the screen or in a video game, it's just now you're ugly instead.
I've seen so many versions of that, just like randomly on Twitter and whatnot. Them just making these characters ugly on purpose. I don't know what it is.
Subversion. There you go. Set the new standard.
Reminder. Oh, who needs a reminder?
Wisnilly P says, all just a reminder that The Last Jedi exists.
Yep. I'll never forget it. Look at my name. It's just.
It's interesting. I remember that more than 9/11.
Yep. 100%.
And I'm not, again, not to be insensitive, but
No.
Now you're not trying to be
9/11 doesn't really mean much to me.
It didn't
The Last
affect me
Jedi was
personally.
way more devastating.
TLJ
Last
did
Jedi.
100%.
TLJ, it was worse because it hit every nation across
Yeah.
borders, across cultures. Everyone was
I was-
affected.
I was fucking gutted. It's
I mean,
the only
yeah.
time I
9/11
checked the torrent to like make sure it wasn't
9/11 is just a
parody or
local event. You know, it's just a little
Well, what you
local
say
event.
is we should have sent the Navy SEAls in to shoot Ryan Johnson in the head as
Yeah.
opposed to Osama bin Laden. Mission accomplished.
9/11 didn't hurt me. Ryan Johnson did. So I
Personal
want
9/11.
revenge. I want brutal revenge on him.
No, the TLJ was the big bang for a lot of people. Like, changed my view on storytelling, and like I didn't realize how much I cared until they fucking raped Luke in front of me. Like, it's
Right
just-
in front of you, too.
yeah, right in front of my eyes. It's just,
You got a more fun, awesome version.
oh god.
Platoon, this is a $100 super chat. You want to read this one?
I can. Thank you very much. That is very generous from Big Blue Minamiku. Speaking of Guardians, James Gunn, I would love to see that one adapt ADF's Spellsinger book franchise for cinema. Assuming perfect conditions, are there any unadapted book franchises the panel would like to see in cinemas? I have not heard of Spellsinger, so I will have to look that one up. Unadapted book franchises in perfect conditions. Ooh.
Does it have to be
Yeah.
a franchise or can it be a one-off?
I guess it could be a one-off.
I just want to see a clean adaptation of To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yeah.
They say that book's extreme, but it's not really.
It really isn't. I think there's a really beautiful message. Like the 62 movie isn't bad, but it does like condense a lot. But I think you could make like a solid like 5-episode miniseries out of
Yeah, like when
To Kill a
it's not
Mockingbird.
extreme because you've seen the Human Centipede and you go like, this is nothing to that. When you see a bunch of people whose mouths have been sewn to the anus of another man, I
Never
think
get
you
that.
kind of
Never get that out of
desensitized
my
to
head.
all this.
Yeah, nothing really compares.
Yep, you're right.
I'd like to see someone try and do Foundation properly. I know Apple TV's technically done it, but it's not an adaptation, and fuck that show. So, like, it would be interesting to see, like, a proper adaptation of that, I guess. There must be some others. I always draw blanks when they're quite broad questions because there are so many.
I'd like to do Berserk, but then you run into the problem of who's. I mean, that's a graphic novel kind of thing, but manga.
Yeah.
But who the fuck would you cast as Guts?
You took it out of my mouth. How do you cast Guts? It's
Oh,
impossible.
Griffith.
Yeah,
'Cause
both
Griffith
of them.
is very feminine, but he
It's
sounds
present.
like a man.
Yeah, you have to find the perfect casting for Griffin to be able to capture the aura that he has. Like, it would need to be some of the best casting ever. And Guts is like, how do you like? It would have to be some strong man or something. You know what I mean? Like some mountain-sized dude, one of the most overpowered human characters ever. But if you can nail Guts and Griffith, there's potential.
Yeah. Although the fucking Black Sun scene, that'd be quite
geez.
something to watch.
Oh yeah, there's I don't know, just but people love dark fantasy stuff, and Berserk is one of the ones that has the potential, but I just don't think they'll ever get it right.
No, well they've been stuck in the what is it, the Golden Age arc for God knows how long.
Mm-hmm.
That's all we get, adaptations. We never get anything after that.
And those movies, they skip so much of the character of the anime, which drives me nuts.
Yeah.
They just literally all the character between Casca, Guts, and Griffith that builds their dynamic is skipped in like a time skip. I couldn't believe it. I fucking hate those.
Yeah.
movies.
Oh, here's a left field suggestion. I think it's called. Oh fuck. The English name is the Assemblywoman. I think it's Ecclesia Zusa or something. It's one of the ancient Greek plays, and the premise is that women take over and they become like the democratically elected rulers, and they immediately ban sex with women more attractive than them, and then become communists, and everyone hates it. So it's kind of like an adaptation for our times, really.
It
And
really
I'd like to
is.
see that.
Is that the news?
Wow.
Well, to counter that, I will say Goosebumps.
Ooh. Ooh.
I like that.
Yeah.
I have no idea what that is.
You know what
Fucking-
Goosebumps is?
Nope.
When
I'm
are
a
you-
legit- The
Fuck
second, you
it,
brought
hell,
up
man.
books, the second you brought up books, I went to manga. That was the closest I went.
Well, yes, again, I read a shit ton of Goosebumps got me into reading to some.
Yeah,
I didn't
same
wanna
here.
fucking read, but if I'll read a fucking horror story, no problem. It was just basically horror stories for kids, but still well written enough to keep your attention.
Mhm.
And
They were branching when they like did when they sort of decision books. So if you make this
your
decision,
own-
turn to page whatever.
yeah, you can choose your own story type thing. So it was really interactive for people who didn't feel like reading and didn't have the attention span for it. But yeah,
Didn't-
Goosebumps. How do you what?
Isn't it like Black Mirror did something like that where you can choose your own?
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
do that for Netflix and you'd interact with it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that was inspired by Goosebumps.
That'd be quite
Goosebumps
cool.
is iconic.
Did you not like the Goosebumps show, Cynic?
No, I did not.
Oh.
Do you
No,
watch
but
Are You
I'd
Afraid
like
of the
to
Dark?
see,
Vex, I know you watched
I
that.
liked that show.
I did, yeah.
Thank you.
I'd like to see a few select Goosebumps tales brought to life for a cinematic experience, like the Night of the Living Dummy.
Some
Say
of them, yeah.
cheese and die.
If they remade Goosebumps and they brought it back like with Black Mirror type quality, we're gonna take these stories but make them super modernized and grounded, but like actually still well written. People would watch a Goosebumps remake, like some type of different interpretation of it, or even Are You Afraid of the Dark?
That's what that's what I was kind of hoping they would do when they made that Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark movie a couple of years ago. I was hoping that they would just kind of make it an anthology series, and just because some of those stories are really terrifying for a kid's book, but they just kind of went with that one-off movie, and it was okay, but
okay. I've never got around to watching because I didn't hear enough word of mouth. And the VHS movies, which is kind of that similar concept, they fell off after a while. There was one that was really fun, and then they kind of just
interesting.
Well, horror fans are like Predator fans. We're fiends. Just give it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Always.
Big Gator 5 says Nornrad Silver Surfer became Galactus's first herald to save his planet, leaving his love behind. Now the Silver Surfer is Nornrad's lover.
Dang.
Yeah. That's the big change. TGV Monster says Chris Redfield is the ultimate Chad from Resident Evil. Play Resident Evil, Platoon, and Cynic. I've played all of them.
Have you?
Chris punches boulders. Yes, in number 5. Enough said.
I remember that.
He beats the shit out of boulders.
It is like 5 times his size.
It's fucking hilarious. Like,
He
we need to
punches it
make a
into the
path.
lava.
Well, I'll beat the shit out of this boulder till it fucking moves. It's amazing. See, I know my Resident Evil because I've played it plenty of times.
I play games.
I've punched boulders. Was Nilly P Vex casting Bella as Sloth a good one?
Thank you.
Ooh, someone just said Goosebumps is where George found Hayden Christensen. That's kind of cool.
Oh,
No.
huh.
Was he the mask? Like,
I don't even remember. Does anyone remember Ryan Gosling when he dominated YTV at some portion in the 90s? He had Breaker High and Young Hercules back to back.
I remember him in Young Hercules.
Yep.
Yes.
I remember those shows back to back. I thought it was so cool that he had 2 different shows that were lined up next to each other. That must have been such a fucking ego dip. But yeah, he's had a lot of longevity, that dude.
Mega Spidey Man, if you were thrust into Star Wars with a lightsaber and the Force, what enemies would you find the trickiest to fight and why?
HK-47. There are many ways to kill a Jedi. He's an expert at it, and he lists all of them for you in the Knights of the Old Republic. So he's a specialist at killing them, and I guess, mind you, if I knew what his tactics were, I might be able to avoid them, but he's supposed to be difficult.
I would pick a bunch of younglings.
Why would you of all people find it difficult to murder children?
No, it's not a difficulty. It's finding a bunch of younglings.
Oh,
how do
finding them.
How do I get them in a room? I mean, you've got to open a school up, pretend to be a teacher, go on a school trip. I mean, that's a lot of planning to do.
That is a lot. It's true.
Do you think Jedi Force asphyxiate? They choke themselves, they masturbate with the Force.
100%.
Probably.
Oh, that's a Sith.
And they just
There's
tried
gotta be one in history that
There's got to be one that tried it. Just,
Yeah.
Come on, give it a tug. And they actually ripped it off or some shit. Like
They
Jesus
find
Christ,
him dead in the cupboards with his pants down.
bleeding to death. Let out. We don't talk about that Jedi. We struck him out.
A lightsaber half shoved up his ass.
the Force just got away from him and choked himself to death.
Fucking himself with his lightsaber. Yeah.
There's got to be Jedi who went, "You're going to sleep with me." No, I'm not. Yes, you are. And he's doing the hand
You
trick.
will sleep with me, yes.
You will sleep with me.
There's
don't
got to
have
be
a
like
husband.
Vince McMahon level Jedi.
100% just convincing them to get shit on and everything. All the fucking nastiest things they would do. Fucking
And
amazing.
they'd name their lightsabers.
Yep.
and There'd be vibrators.
This is Obi-Wan. This is
green-
Vader.
This
Stick
is
'em in.
Green
Yoda.
lightsaber's Yoda.
The green one's Yoda. You see the small one
Yeah.
over there? Oh god. It's fucking
This lightsaber vibrates.
fucking Darth Herpes, man. Oh my god.
There's probably someone on Etsy that sells one of those vibrating lightsabers. Let's be honest.
100%.
Yeah.
I remember someone showed me a funny thing is you could get Long Claw, the Jon Snow sword dildo. So it comes with the handle, it comes with the grip.
What?
Wow.
That wouldn't surprise me at all. That would not surprise me at all. Mother of Dragon fleshlight. Just fucking
But
naked
the,
Daenerys.
the picture he showed me was it had a miniature Jon Snow holding a dildo long sword.
This is what Game of Thrones has been dropped down to, man. Fucking sex.
Dang.
Oh, that was so funny.
I could be making a killing then. I should just be like selling dildos from popular
Mhm.
franchises at this point.
Yeah.
Dang.
The market's oversaturated, probably.
No, I'm
I
sure
don't
there's
know.
something I could tap into still. I'm sure there's something someone hasn't thought of.
God, can you imagine the Hulk? Just a horrendously green, muscly fucking.
Oh, it exists. I've actually seen one of
Oh,
those.
ripped
Same with like the
dildo.
Venom ones. I've seen the Venom dildos
Oh
as well.
Oh God, that's horrendous. That's fucking just. Of course, would be one. I was thinking, oh, that's too horrible to exist, but no, of course there isn't.
Chris1306 says, "Hey all, since we're on the subject of old media and mob related shows and movies, I'd recommend to everyone The Friends of Eddie Coyle starring Robert Mitchum."
Writing it down.
Never heard of that.
Mm-mm.
Eastern
but-
Promises. I'll throw that in there too. Just from around
Oh
the top.
yeah,
I think
Eastern
that's a
Promise.
super underrated movie.
Is that the Viggo Mortensen one?
Yes.
Yes.
One,
Yeah,
one of the
the
best
other
fight
one.
scenes ever filmed at the end of the
Yeah,
movie, in
good
my
film.
opinion. Yeah.
Big T. Apparently, Cruz and Macquarie making a Tropic Thunder spinoff for Les Grossman. Also, can't wait for Reaper's True Detective Meltdown in 2027.
The first part sounds horrible, and the second part sounds worse.
They can't make a Tropic Thunder spinoff or anything related to that nowadays. They just
no.
I think
Sorry,
go ahead. Oh, just like the bigger problem is the appeal for Les Grossman is that he's just like he's just a kind of like a pop-in antagonist, right? The reason he's so memorable is he just kind of shows up, he breaks some of the silly comedic tension, and he's just a hard ass. If you do that for an entire movie, you're just getting Harvey Weinstein the movie essentially, and nobody wants to see that. So he wouldn't work in his own movie. You can bring him in as just a background character in another movie. Like, it doesn't even have to be in the Tropic Thunder universe, but he should not have his own movie. It just would ruin the character completely.
Well, the whole point of Tropic Thunder was to make fun of actors and the movie industry. Whereas, what would you do with him? Would you play him seriously? Would you, again, as you said, would you have him like Harvey Weinstein people? Then it becomes too serious if he's raping people. So, yeah, he's like Hannibal Lecter. He's very effective in small doses.
Yeah. We talked about this last time. Lecter's screen time is very, 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 very short. Fucking 16 minutes. And it's a good example of utilizing every fucking moment on screen. You don't need that much time.
And he still got a supporting actor nom, didn't he? For Hannibal Lecter.
Yep.
Didn't you Brooks, was it Riri Williams? Oh,
Riri Williams has 15 minutes of screen time in Wakanda Forever. Hannibal Lecter has 16 in The Silence of the Lambs. Just wrap your head around that, folks. I feel like I should repeat that, like put on a shirt. Like there's something to be learned in that. It's one of the most iconic performances ever, and one of the most forgettable performances ever. I get a message every week of like, who the fuck is Ironheart? When did this come out? Blah 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 blah. Nobody remembers this chick. But she had a minute less than Lecter, and everybody remembers that role. It's just, I think that's incredible.
So the second part of that tweet, it is 2027. Night Country season 2 is coming out.
Oh, it's not next year. I thought it was 2026.
No, it's being filmed now because it got viewed more than season 1.
Yeah, but there's reasons for that. To be fair,
yeah, everyone's a retard.
That too, but like none of the other seasons of True Detective came to streaming. Like they weren't on streaming at the same time, so that inflates numbers. And I'm not gonna lie, like they kind of hoodwinked me. Like all you had to say was Rust Cole, and I was there for season 4, right? So
did you watch it?
Oh God, I you know what, the sex scene that Jodie Foster has in the second episode. Yeah, that haunts me still. Like sometimes my mind will just conjure that up, and I want to vomit.
Someone knows my pain.
Yeah, yes, I know your pain.
Nobody has watched that show, and I'm like, this is fucking dinosaur DNA is fucking freed from the ice by pollution.
Like I understand how Star Wars fans feel watching Night Country because I really love True Detective as an IP, and then this came out.
Yeah, I want to hear terrible things about it.
She falls in the ocean in the middle of Alaska, and she's just fine with a blanket.
I think what's even better is Jodie Foster is the town bicycle, and everyone's just okay with that. Everyone just wants to fuck 70-year-old Jodie Foster.
Well, she's the only bicycle left. It's like a rusty, dirty bike, but you've got no other way to get to work. You just got to ride her.
God. That sex scene proved that she is in fact a lesbian, if anyone has watched it.
Yeah, do you want to see the Ninth Doctor's hairy nipples? Then you're in for a treat.
Gallster 1908, a short, shameless plug. I am currently working on my own diesel punk universe, basically Europe during World War I, but there's magic. I am searching for someone who can help me write a short story as proof of concept because I honestly suck at writing.
Well, best thing you could do is just to try and keep trying and keep trying. Write all the way through to the end of the first go. Don't stop because you don't think it's good enough. Then once you've got something finished, get your friends to read it, look at ways you can improve it, and then write the whole thing again. Because like there's honestly, finishing a bad story is so much better for you than not finishing 50 and half decent ones because you learn more.
get more out of it.
There's also like a lot of writers that are on YouTube that give advice for like just even how to get a chapter done, how to write like thorough
Yeah.
characters and all that stuff. So there's like a lot of free resources that you can find.
Filthy Casual says, I was pleasantly surprised with Ballerina, but my expectations were super low. I like that Wick showed up just to beat her ass with ease.
Yeah, he does hand her ass to.
I mean,
Like,
it makes
yeah.
sense.
It's a requirement of the film, I guess.
Yeah.
Good.
Again, it's still in the context it happens. It just doesn't make sense because she shouldn't hold her own against a lot of people in that film. But
No one can eat 50 eggs for $5. Sheridan, Tulsa King, Landman, Mayor of Kingston Town, Yellowstone, 1923, 1883, Guy Ritchie, The Gentleman, and Mobland.
I've heard The Gentleman and Tulsa King and Yellowstone. I could only vouch for Mobland.
The one thing I liked about The Gentleman is in the first episode, the drug dealer in a tracksuit is from where I am. He's got the same accent. So of course, he would be a drug dealer.
Oh, jeez. Perfect.
They got it spot on. I went tracksuits and everything. I went, yep, that's representation.
Get my child says, here's money. Vex and the rest of you are awesome. Lil Platoon, did you get your Switch too? What are your thoughts? Do you or the panel recommend the system?
I did.
I
And?
got it too.
What were your take first?
It's like what I wanted 5 years ago.
Yeah.
It's a ring endorsement.
Wow.
It's like
Why
I was in
now?
a weird position where like I obviously blitzed through Mario Kart World, basically completed
Yeah,
the whole
of
thing.
course.
I've got a couple of things to unlock, but like you finish it and then you think, oh, I wonder what else I can play. Oh,
I can
That's it.
replay Breath of the Wild in stunning 60 frames per second.
I can pay a bit more to have a slightly better version of a game I already own. That's
It
good.
is a significantly better version,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I don't know if I want to do another 200-hour stint in Breath of the Wild.
No, it's like I was kind of hoping for because there's like the release titles are basically non-existent, whereas
Yeah.
like, that's half the excitement. I'm not that fussed about the system specs. What I'm interested in is new console for new games, especially new Nintendo games. But there aren't any. It's just Mario Kart World. So
Yeah.
honestly, if you still got your Switch and you still use it, I would just keep playing that until more games release, and then get the Switch 2 later when there are more of them and it might be cheaper. Because there's just like I'm playing at the moment. I've been playing mostly my old Switch games on my Switch 2, which is not
Yep.
great.
Yep, I have a massive digital library of Switch games, and that's basically what I'm playing on my Switch 2 is the just playing the ones I was playing on that one on a Switch 2 instead. Yeah. And you just like hope that there's like, well, maybe there's an upgrade or something. You know, maybe like the Mortal Kombat games run better. Hooray.
I think they're
We've caught
working
up
on
to
getting.
present day.
They're already working on getting COD 7 on there because COD 7 got announced yesterday. So there's already.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's gonna run great on the Switch too.
It's gonna
I
run.
don't
Seven
want a
already?
Switch to play Call of Duty. I want the Switch to play fucking Zelda and Smash Brothers. But
Yeah.
fine.
Well, all new consoles are doing this. The PS5 had nothing for like 2 years.
It still doesn't have much, to be
frustrating.
honest.
No.
That's
Yeah.
why I stick to Steam. Like PC gaming, you just kind of like avoid all that shit. Having to buy a console and then sit there and wait for games. It's just there's so many old games to play to be able to keep you up. Like movies is fucked right now, but like in terms of gaming, we're in a pretty decent era. Like it's just you have access to so many things.
I
But
think
the whole
not
concept lifestyle, oof.
not launching with a story game is a huge mistake, or at least a game that you could put 30 plus hours in,
Yeah.
because you can't with fucking Mario Kart World. You just can't.
Is it only one game that it came
Yeah.
with?
Pretty much, yeah. Well, I mean, and
Mario
that's
Kart.
if you buy the bundle, it comes with Mario Kart. Otherwise, you have to buy it separately, obviously for $80. And it's like I don't even think Mario Kart World is that much of an improvement. It looks really pretty, but the tracks
does.
themselves are kind of okay. Like they're
The
just
controls are fantastic. I
Yeah.
feel. Yeah, I think the gameplay is like really tight.
But how
Yeah.
mad are you gonna go playing the one game that you're gonna have for months?
Well, that's why I've already got back to the Switch stuff, because I put loads of hours into Mario Kart World for the first 2 days that I had it, and then it was like, well,
Yeah.
and then the only things left to unlock are in the free roam mode, and I don't see the point in the free roam mode.
No,
It's just
me
not,
either.
it's
I don't
not
wanna
that
play it.
exciting.
I don't want to play the free roam mode at all. I've watched some reviews and they're just like, yeah, it's kind of barren. There's not really
Yeah.
much to do.
Like, you basically drive
Okay.
around like all the tracks, which are just open world, so they're all connected. You drive around, and occasionally you'll find a blue switch, which gives you a challenge, which takes on average 20 seconds to complete. Probably takes 5 minutes to find one of these things. And then there's like tiles on the floor that if you drive over them, you get a sticker. And like, yeah.
This is the first major console they've launched without a major 30+ hour game. Like, since
They
they
just
went
know.
3D anyway. So I don't know. I feel like that was a huge misstep.
Yeah.
Well, they know you've got you. Once you've bought it, you have to buy the game. You're now stuck with a very expensive.
Yeah,
brick.
but I feel like Zelda and Mario are system movers, and Mario Kart, even though it's their best-selling game, it's like a slow burn that sells a steady amount over time. It's not something that like jumps out of the gate. That's
It's
why I
also-
think they were still on store shelves.
Yeah,
But I
it's
think
also way more
what-
contextually popular, because like Mario Kart 8, Mario Kart World, even it's like, or any Mario Kart game is it's really great to play with other people, and I guess it's good to play online if you like playing online. But like on your own, some people like putting loads of hours into like really mastering the tracks and stuff, but it's not got the same appeal as, like you said, like a Zelda or a Mario game or something that's going to take you like 30 hours of story to get through, which will take you time, take you a few days, if not weeks, and then by that time, either a third-party thing's been released or a new game has been announced, and then you get slightly more excited for what's coming next. Whereas it's like Mario Kart, unless you do regularly play with other people or online, I've already finished it, and now I'm back to Switch games. So it's like it's not really the best beginning for a console.
Do you think it's they've just went, you know what, when we finally get Zelda out, that'll be another launch. This is basically an early access kind of thing where people pay huge sums of money to basically get one game, and then we'll do another launch. So basically they'll have like 2 launches where
could try
everyone else,
that.
because they might, I think that's their plan, is to make this quarter go up in their stock price. Then in the second quarter, they might just release like the actual one game that everyone wants.
Yeah, I wonder what it's going to be. I don't know. Because they're doing Donkey Kong next month, but that's still just not a big enough IP to launch with.
But
I guess their hope
people
is
with the bricks. Like everyone's got a Nintendo Switch has to buy Donkey Kong because what else you got?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'll be buying it.
Yeah.
So,
They've got you now. It's like you're on the
Yeah.
plantation. You need to keep buying the stuff.
yeah.
I mean, I'm looking through the upcoming games on. Are these all of them? That's not a question I should be asking, but it is. A bunch of stuff I've never heard of, like Raidu remastered, but if it's remastered, I guess it's just a remaster. Tamagotchi Plaza, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Shadow Labyrinth, Mario Party, Madden NFL, fuck no. Kirby in the Forgotten Land and stuff. I mean, I like Kirby. I'm looking forward, but that's not until August. Pokemon Legends, that's in October. Metroid
And that's for Switch.
hasn't even got a release
also.
date. Oh, is it? Oh, yeah, because a bunch of these are going to be backwards compatible anyway. So
Yeah.
like, you still don't necessarily
They're not
need a
even-
Switch 2 to get them.
Exactly. They're not even native Switch 2 games.
Yeah, it might be like next year before you even get like an actual native Switch 2.
What have I done? I went and picked
Yeah.
that up at midnight.
You've got this expensive brick. It's an ornament.
Yeah.
It's just
Seriously.
propped up.
What's the point? Like, it's just like waiting for the games. I just wait until there's actually games that I want to play. I never do.
Well, I
that.
just, because I
Forget it.
didn't bother, I just assumed there would be a bunch quite quickly. I didn't bother looking because I remember the Switch coming out with a bigger launch block than this. So I was like, well, they must give me games for this new games console they've launched. So I'll take it on faith. That was a mistake. I now feel really bad because my poor abandoned Switch has just been sitting in a box for months. And now I'm using the Switch 2 to play stuff I could have been playing the whole fucking
the
time.
whole time. Well, it does look really good on the new Switch. I can say that. The new screen it's like a bigger screen. That's nice.
Is
It's
that all
not
they got?
OLED, but whatever, I guess. Yeah.
Doing a great job selling this. Great job.
How much did it cost? What was the price?
Whatever the the sticker price is. Was it $500? And then I got a pro controller, which is $85.
You sound so
really
excited
expensive.
about this. Oh my
Really?
goodness.
Well, it's like a
Absolutely
fucking, it's exactly what I wanted in 2020. It truly is. And it's like, well, I got what I wanted. Now I want something
Couple
way
years
more
late.
powerful. Yeah.
So I wanted this when I was 5. It's like,
I wanted this when I was in a totally different part of my life, man. Thomas Costigan says, just rewatched South Club 7 TV series.
S Club 7.
Okay. S Club 7. All right. And it is unironically better written, funnier, and charmingly wholesome compared to most shit these days.
I actually didn't know S Club had a TV series. I'm curious to watch it now.
Richard Schaff says they had to cover her up, otherwise everyone would see the very recognizable shoulder and back covering gang tattoos. They had no choice at all.
You know, okay.
Referring to
You know-
Ana de Armas.
Yeah, you know
Yeah,
what's
really?
funny about this is her first fight scene when she goes to that club, her entire front is covered up, but her dress is completely backless. So,
yeah.
I mean, not really.
Yeah, like you can see her like crotch and stuff because she keeps like her leg keeps slipping out. She's like basically nude.
Yeah, she's pulling out like mags from in between her legs and everything in that sequence. Yeah, they could have just put. I would have liked that if they just put her in a low cut dress though. Like they did a flawless job on her makeup. Like facially, she looks great, but it's just like I know she's got a body under there. Let us see it. I want to see it, and I'm a straight woman.
Tyler Williams, LOL, the first minute. We us don't have health care. Something only a Brit would say.
Did I say we don't have? I mean, we don't. But did I say it? I guess I did.
What were we talking about?
I thought we were talking about murdering children. Yeah. Where's the
Yeah.
hell-
Yeah, compassion.
To be fair, that's something the NHS is very good at, but like I don't remember it coming up.
They've brought in the die thing, haven't they? Right to die, which is just
Have they actually brought that? Oh
That's
god,
so
damn it.
crazy.
yeah. So it's a right to die is you're going to die. When I'm not looking forward to when I'm 70 and the nurse is coming at me with the needle and I'm trying to fight her off, like 'cause that's the future. What's that Brad Pitt in Bullet Train? She's got a finger poison, and I've got to inject her into air.
That's a movie idea. It's like a zombie movie, but instead of zombies, it's just doctors, and you have to survive. World War Z, but the NHS version.
That's gonna taste those lovely organs you've got in there, and you're still alive, and they're trying to open you up. Oh, didn't I went to the child one, that Alder Hay? It's supposed to be the best one in England. When I was a kid, went there often. Turns out they were stealing kids' organs. I'm like, why not me? Were mine not good enough?
You want my liver?
He looked at me and went, no, you're suffering enough.
This super chat's crazy.
Return of Pedro.
It's true. Yeah. Big T says Law and Order SVU did an episode based on what Pedro's dad might have done like 20 years ago. Birthright is the episode name.
Wow,
I
I'm
can see
writing
that.
that down.
I could see that. 20 years ago that would line up around the time where you can actually tell interesting stories and not just
Vex,
fucking, you know?
check that out. Report back.
Will do.
Rolando A. Ramirez. Nah, the trunks stay. Nah, the trunks are gay.
Oh, nice rhyming there.
Thank you. Albatross says, I think the Lois interview scene is Lois trying to prep Superman for the media storm and villains that are going to try to tear him down.
Yeah, but it's like, Superman, I'm not scared of kaiju. I'm scared of people calling me bad names on social
Yeah,
media.
that's what I mean.
Don't be
It's
mean
like-
to me, please.
That's not the side of him we really want to see. Even though we're
Yeah.
lacking context, it still just feels off.
What's super shit? Don't they call him super shit?
Super
It's-
shit.
It's Superman! And he breaks his phone.
Fucking slammed the table and shit.
Yeah, because that just shows like a complete lack of emotional maturity.
The Stinky Weasel says, who are some notably frustrating creators who clearly exhibit talent but keep fumbling the ball? The writer of Squid Game comes to mind. Some of his character work is excellent, but plot utter wank.
I'm literally making a video on that exact subject. How Squid Game has brilliant character work right next to garbage, like retarded plots, side plots, and like the whole plot with the cop is fucking nonsense. And it was stitched onto the show. So even in season 1, you have a great show with a parasite attached to it. And my video is basically about isolating the good parts of Squid Game, like in terms of what they do with the character writing. His transition from season 1 to 2 is amazing.
Should I not watch Squid Game then?
No, I'd recommend Squid Game season 1 100%.
Okay.
I need to see how 2 finishes before I could recommend it, because that first
that's not
episode
done
of
yet?
season 2. No, they split season 2 into 2 seasons, so it's kind of 3 seasons now. But season 2 was a mixed bag. It had some really good moments, but it also had a lot of rehashery of the first season.
Gotcha.
It didn't feel like they had a fleshed out idea, but the pieces that worked really well. I liked the character. The character progression of the main character from season 1 to season 2 is actually excellent. It makes perfect sense that he progressed in this way.
Okay.
Yeah. Season 1, easy recommendation though.
All right.
M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong is a guy who just always fumbles the ball.
Yeah.
Balls.
Fumbles
balls.
Yeah.
Fumbles them around. But yeah, that guy fucking had one hit and then made a whole career out of
Yep.
What was his newest film with it on the beach and they grow old?
Old.
Oh,
It's called Old. I couldn't think of a name. Fuck it.
Get old.
Old people getting old. Did anyone ever see that? I just laughed at the name and moved on.
Oh, it was ridiculous. I watched it because I didn't realize it was M. Night Shyamalan. If I'd known that, I wouldn't have watched it. But
did he make Split? Because I did like Split.
He did make.
He did. Yeah.
But then he shot himself with glass. Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Yes.
Glass was terrible.
Samuel Jackson falling out of his wheelchair is one of the hardest I've laughed as an adult. Like I was fucking crying, absolutely crying at that, because it was like 20 minutes of boring bullshit, and then suddenly he falls out of his wheelchair and like breaks his leg, and gives the most perfect Samuel Jackson scream ever. Recommend it just for that fucking moment.
I gotta check that out. Maybe I'll check that out after this.
Like the main, I didn't want to spoil it if you ever do it, but one of the ways the Bruce Willis character, the way he goes out, is one of the most embarrassing things I've ever seen in my life. If anyone remembers how he fucking like drowns in a puddle.
In a pond.
It was a puddle. It was a puddle. He took some water like this, put it on the ground, and he just dies because he's fucking.
Yeah, like the rest of his body is moving around, but his face is like in the water going like that.
He drowns in a puddle of water, like a cup of water. It's so bad.
Like, how does he drink anything?
I don't know, man.
Like, he must like get a cup of water, and his wife has to like put like paddles on his head.
It's a waste of James McAvoy, because I think he's one of the best actors nowadays, and
he was great in Split.
Yeah, he was great in both, but then they turned him into a goofball, like jumping on the ground in glass. Like, I don't
know. Jonathan Frost says he reminds me of a mix between Tom Welling and Henry Cavill.
Corn Sweat.
I could see that one.
I can actually see that. Yeah.
God, what a fucking weird name.
Corn Sweat.
Is it even Corn Sweat, or is it, we just call him that?
We call him Corn Sweat. It's Corn Sweat, but it's close
Corn
enough to Corn
Sweat,
Sweat. I still say they should have went with my idea, just a $50 million old Superman with Tom Welling. People would come back for the Smallville dude. Like, just do it super low budget and figure it out.
Was Smallville that popular?
Yeah,
people love
Smallville.
Smallville.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
It's probably my favorite Superman content when I think about it.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Because, like we said, Clark Kent is way more interesting than Superman, and Smallville nails that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they stretch it out over like how many seasons? 9, 10?
A bit too much.
Too much. Yeah. Hey Kira, my biggest complaint of this Superman is the depiction of Crypto. He's supposed to be highly trained and obedient because of how strong he is.
Ralph, I'm not gonna forget that doggo. I don't know. I have no interest in that concept at all. Superman.
James Gunn's Crypto.
Yeah.
I hope some Koreans eat him.
Off screen.
He's
Lex
3D though.
Luthor's
He's not even
plan.
a real dog. Not a real dog on set.
Some 3D Koreans, some CGI Koreans eat them. That's
I
Lex
just think
Luthor.
it's clear pandering for the kids, and it's just not in a good way. You can do doggos, but like this one seems just.
Jonathan Frost says this version of Johnny Storm gives me Stranger Danger vibes.
I feel it. I feel it.
He's not a womanizer anymore, is he?
Nope.
No, he's got child images on a hard drive.
Yeah, but he looks like he looks like a crackhead, man. Like he just looks so strung out and just unhealthy. I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's a vegan.
There it is.
David Gannon says you're making the mistake of thinking that Disney will finally recognize that their movies bombing is their own fault. They won't. They'll keep doing exactly what they've been doing. Wait and see.
Who made that mistake? I'm pretty sure that's everyone's take on the panel at Disney. Like they're not gonna fucking. They'll be the last ones to wake up and admit their.
Well, we keep thinking like logically, like this can't go on, and Kathleen Kennedy's like, no, as long as I keep my adrenochrome, it'll go on forever.
Well, you just wonder how many movies. Like I remember being on Mr. Brown's show 2 or 3 years ago, and just being like, Marvel movies will plateau if they stay at the quality they're at, but they'll cost so much money. I would imagine in like 3 or 4 years' time, they will just see them as not affordable anymore.
The bean counters have to come in at some point. Like this is just.
It has to. Like even if it still makes $300 million, that's a lot of money, but your movies cost $300 million to make, so you're.
I
losing
thought
all the money. So
I thought Joker would have changed the game. It made $1 billion off 50 million. You just if the bean counters don't look at that and see, okay, this has to be the way forward for longevity, then who's in charge? Like, I just don't get it.
Well, they'll see Joker 2 with 200 million and be a flop and go, no, actually, it was a fluke.
God.
Pierced by Light says the Silver Surfer cartoon from the 90s was epic. I checked that out on Disney Plus. I checked out all the old cartoons on Disney Plus. Like, not actually watched every episode or anything, but
I tried watching that. I tried watching as a kid, and I just went, well, for fuck's sake, all he keeps doing is having existential crises. Like, I'm 5, and he's going, I wander on this immortal coil, and like, fucking shoot something.
Yeah, fucking a bit too much
introspective.
It reminds me of Matrix Reloaded, man. Like fucking conversation.
God.
But I'm like 5, going, for fuck's sake, he's Silver Surfer, and he's just sitting on a surfboard, just crying about the universe.
Mm-hmm.
I would just kill yourself.
You're that depressed, you bald fuck. Like,
you fucking pussy, just do it.
Because I was thinking, why just fly into the sun? Because all you do is go, where's my planet? You're not going to find it.
You're right. All I remember about him is being mopey, fucking whiner.
He was a bitch, yeah.
It's like, I was a kid, I was going, you're not going to find your planet. I'm 5 and I know you're not going to find it. It's the universe. It's not like a set of car keys in your house.
Bro.
You know what I mean? Get over it. Your planet's gone. You'll never see your family again. Go to another planet, start another one, or kill yourself. That's why I couldn't get into as a kid.
They better not bring that back for the new one. Like, I don't want to see her fucking like doing the same bullshit.
Well, they're going to talk it out at the end, right? So it's probably going to bleed into that same area.
You mentioned the Resident Evil, the Mila Jovovich. I can never say her name. Mila Jovovich. The fucking little red security chick who's like, you're all going to die down here. That's what she reminds me of. She reminds me of that little girl. It's the same type of fucking quality of the CGI. She looks exactly the same.
Annoying
and like that is not the presence I expect when I'm talking about Silver Surfer. Like, it's terrible.
I know Silver Surfer and Mrs. Fantastic are just going to period blood all over Galactus.
Drown him.
Drown him.
In menstruation.
Shank him with a tampon.
My only weakness, womanhood. As he fucking they flood the market with it.
Just are they gonna fuck up Galactus, or will they at least get that part right?
He looks the part, but
yeah, he looks the part. Definitely, he looks good.
That's a
They have a good actor, but you know they did that with Christian Bale in Thor 4 as well, right? Good
They can
actor,
have
just-
after Gore, there's no looking back. You have
I
literally one of
can't
the best
believe
living
they
actors.
fucking went with Galactus. Like,
one
right
of the
off the
best.
bat.
Yeah, it's a bit. You
Well,
shouldn't
that's
have
why
blown that load right off the bat.
Well, you've got to hope that he doesn't get defeated completely at the end of this movie. Like, he's not a one and done villain, right? He should come back. So
If they defeat him in the first movie, they are absolutely retarded. He's 100% should be a reoccurring villain, an overlord of some kind.
They need
aren't
to
they-
escape him only. Yeah.
Yeah, is he going to follow them into this universe, or is it because he's in a different universe they think that's a good idea to kill him? Because they'll just make another one, and he's a woman.
Like I
He's
said,
a
they have
woman.
the actor that they have, the dad from the Witch. One of the greatest
Ralph
voices in Hollywood.
Ineson.
Probably, yeah, his voice is just powerful. Hopefully, his performance is enough to carry it through, right? And then we can get more of it. But like we mentioned, Gore. Like after Gore, we should be cynical about every fucking villain. You have the design for Gore is fantastic, and you have one of the best actors in the world, and they still completely pissed the bed, just ruined it.
Rolando A. Ramirez says now the brow stays. No.
You mean the foreskin?
That's the turd. Yeah.
Yeah.
Third,
big-
yeah.
The big thick Dorito turd across his head.
The hardened foreskin.
Mhm.
I like the groan there, Bex. Ooh. Ooh.
Didn't need that mental image. That's all.
If it opens up, could you see his brain?
Oh,
That's
God.
how his skull works.
Be rocks too, just orange.
Yeah,
This probably would be better.
Thunderstorm says they could re-release in theaters the 2005 Fantastic Four and it would do better.
Probably, yeah.
They'd probably make more money.
Alba, yeah.
Yeah, Jessica Alba in her prime.
Yeah. I've seen her courtside at a Knicks game. She still looks good. She could come back too, like, for part 3 or whatever.
I think she's just got divorced as well. So, fellas,
So you're saying there's a chance.
there's a chance.
I've had a crush on her since Dark Angel, man.
Oh,
You
Dark
know,
Angel. Holy shit. Remember
Yeah.
that.
Does anyone remember Cyber 6? That's an even further one. back.
Yes.
I think that is to this day the best. Probably, I don't even know if she was trans, but for asking those questions, like I just remember being so confused. Like, what the fuck is she a guy? A girl? What is going on here? But that concept was done better in Cyber 6 than almost any of the modern woke bullshit now, and nobody remembers that fucking show.
Richard Schaff says 3 items in 3 distinct biomes. Fetch quest.
For the Jurassic
World, yeah.
yeah.
Gord King says Velocipaster, all of the Jurassic Park.
Yes, Velocipaster is a cinematic masterpiece. Agreed.
Yeah. Velocipaster is fucking dope. Our friend Ian David Diaz, Rebecca Gold says, I didn't mind Ballerina. Okay, Vex, have a go.
Ian and I had a tiff on Mr. Brown's a couple weeks ago.
Oh,
So he just wants to butt heads.
it's coming at you.
It was shit in your own words.
It
Ian.
was shit. Bonesaw is ready. They should have cast that Wheel of Time actress for the Minecraft movie.
That's what I was saying. Should have fit right in, man. 100%.
That's a good
Jack Black.
That's good. Campbell Patterson says, so happy you made Reaper a regular. He's so funny.
I'm like a stray, been taken in, and now you can't get rid of me.
Done.
Oh shit!
We're glad to have him. Tay says, cheers, panel. Vexy, glad to see you back on BSUP.
Thank you, Tay.
Big T says, whose chin would you use to break into a safe? Bella Ramsey, Jay Leno, Reese Witherspoon, or Wheel of Time chick from earlier?
How
Wheel
dare
of
you
Time
diss
chick.
my girl Reese? Her chin is just fine, you bastard.
No, that chin is ugly, dude.
It's
like
just
it juts out of her
fine.
face. No.
It's Reese Chinnerspoon, dude.
Mhm.
She
Well,
gets
Bella
a
Ramsey-
pass.
Bella Ramsey's like one of those rams with the big foreheads that butt each other.
Mhm.
She looks like a yeah, what is it, like the Pachycephalosaurus there?
Just extra face.
True, yeah.
Extra face she doesn't need. It's just unnecessary flesh. I don't know.
That new dinosaur in Jurassic World Rebirth, with his like cross.
Yeah, it
Oh,
looks
this is
like
the
Oh
that.
yeah.
The
Someone
looks like
face
Dino?
shot Bella Ramsey's face onto that new dinosaur. That's a perfect
Holy
meme right
It will
there.
be done.
Hemorrhoid Hurts says, who has the best pick of me or Vex? Both sexy, right?
They're both pretty
No one
cool.
can
What?
turn down a roast beef sandwich. That's all. I'm
This
gonna
is
say.
true.
Mhm.
Gord King, 9/11 was two holdo maneuvers.
It was.
Pretty much. Fucking Holdo. Fucking Holdo. Jesus Christ, man.
Bonesaw is ready, says the last Jedi carried out by Posama
Ho-
bin Dameron.
I think I might be the only one on the planet that fucking has a Holdo figure.
Oh my
Why?
God.
Why do you have that? Do you
Because-
stick pins in it?
It's not Nosferatu holding Ray and Holdo like this. That's like the front of my TV. It's both of them being choked up like this. I've had that as a shrine for like years completely. So it's this. I can't bring the whole thing and fall, but like Nosferatu just choking them out like this. And it's just, it's fucking, she's like one of the worst characters I've ever seen in my life. I had to get it.
It's like a satanic shrine.
Yeah, it's a shrine.
Taker 610, the guy from the Mario Brothers movie that calls them the Super Mario Brothers, needs to show up in Superman and say, well, if it isn't Superman. Fuck yeah, he does.
But how much does Superman just spag out and like break his hands?
M8566 says, Vex appearing on BSUP is the only thing that brings me joy in life.
Dang, bro. I'm just a sandwich here too. I didn't even pull my camera up.
Just
I'm
a
just
dirty
saying.
sandwich.
Reap says, friendly harassment for Vex to watch Utopia 2013.
Okay, writing it down.
You don't have to watch them. Just take their money and go, yeah, I'll watch it, and don't.
No, I'm not even getting paid, so
You're-
I I gotta get
Don't-
something.
The audience are not there to be respected. If there's anything I've learned from Hollywood, it's that.
Yeah, didn't you see us dogpile on poor Dave last week? Or the
Oh,
week prior?
Dave. Dave.
Oh, Dave.
I can't even
You
remember
little
that was
shit.
about, but we all got super fucking passionate about it.
He baited us with
Oh,
40
got us.
chests.
He got us good.
Gallster 1908 says, thanks for the tips. I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to spend all my free time working out that universe. I really want to create something worthwhile.
No.
You
I
gotta
hope
take your
do,
time, man. I've had a fantasy story in my head for like 20 years now. I'm trying to slowly flesh out, and I'm only now getting to the point of trying to write, certain components for it, like the characters and whatnot. You got to let it cook and just wait for it to be ready and actually put
Is it a
your
fan-
effort into it.
Is it a fantasy story, or are you just going like insane? There's people talking to you, and
No,
God speaks to me in my fantasy.
just taking elements of all the stories I've liked throughout the years and like trying to piece it together as something that's worth committing pen to paper to,
It is fun to
Well,
do,
that
but
way.
different people have different approaches because like some people do sit there and they want to make sure they have everything about the world created before they start writing the plot. And some people, myself included, don't. Well, the last book I wrote was completely by accident
Hmm.
because it was just like my dad got me a typewriter for my birthday, so I thought I want to see if it works, and I started writing, and then 6 months
Out
and
of
about
nowhere.
600 pages later, it's got like the story's done, and there's a world that's been built around it or implied around it, and then I would probably go if I were to pick it back up again and build up stuff around it, but like sometimes you could overthink before you start, which is something
Yes.
I'd probably avoid doing.
That'll
if you
screw
can.
people up. That's why I think characters and premise is a simple way to start. You try to go into world building and themes and try to get everything. You get overwhelmed before you even know who your main character is.
So you have those typewriters where if you make one mistake, you have to throw away the entire page.
You can go back.
So much
I just
pressure.
took a pen and just scrawled over it if I had to delete. So it's not like the cleanest thing, but like that's honestly, it's a weird thing as well. It's like finding the right implement to write with is quite important because some people will swear by writing with pen and paper, which is just so slow and I hate it. But
I
then
started-
sometimes if you write with like on your computer, you can write so quickly you don't think. Whereas the typewriter was lovely because it was like right in the middle. Also, it's mechanical, so you've got something you can fiddle with if you're procrastinating or something.
Isn't Stephen fucking why am I blanking on his name?
Stephen King?
Stephen King, doesn't he still write with the typewriter this day? Because something about the feel is something you can't really like. Going from a mechanical keyboard back to a shitty one is driving me nuts. It just affects the feel of the writing. And I did all of my first videos pen and paper. I've only changed that now because like my whole thought process was do it on paper first, so you're forced to do a good redraft when you do the transfer. And I've always done it that way, but it just takes way too long now. And you can't do the same editing and you can't do spell check and certain things, just the scans that you could do when you're writing it on a PC. But yeah, the feel is a big thing. I still prefer pen and paper for storytelling, but it's just, I don't know. It's tricky for everyone.
That's interesting because like I do a mix of like I have a day planner where I write all notes in, but I carry like a little notebook around because I started writing a romance novel last year. So if I have any ideas, I just kind of jot them down there, but then I have a document on my computer that's kind of organized into general notes and then the actual story and then side research that might be relevant later. So I kind of do a mix of both.
Yeah, it's tricky. Different for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
What you got next, Cynic? Where'd you go?
Cynic is BRB. I am taking over, which means it's going to go wrong. I assume all the ones to the left are ones we haven't done. I know, it's the cunning plan, really. Actually, we'll just never leave. I think we're picking up from here. From Richard Schaff, member for 22 months. Ballerina was so boring I couldn't get invested.
I'm pretty sure we've done that one. I think that was the first super chat or something you got.
See, this is why I knew it was going to go wrong.
Instantly.
They're supposed to disappear once you've done them. Hold on. Oh, yeah, no, I recognize these ones.
Yeah.
Where did we stop? I don't think... Okay, hold on. I think I might have found them, maybe? Yes.
Stupid Man. Mario Brothers.
Well, I don't even see that one. It's just gone.
Perfect fucking timing, dude.
We've done My Balls Remain Locked and Blue, right? We've done that one. That was ages ago. We've done a chick making BSUP Link. That was right at the beginning.
I think it was. I think you're on the 1776 from Courtney.
That
Young.
looks correct.
Yeah.
What is 7? That's an important year, isn't it? 1776. I'm sure some important event happened on that year. Courtney Young for 1776. Still between any updates you'd be able to give an Oski. Always enjoyed hearing from him and your conversations. He is well. Yeah. I got him on board writing Judas with us, so he's on that team. He is getting married later this year, and I have to go and do a best man speech, which means I get to hopefully create the world's quickest divorce. That is my plan.
I like the way you made him write Judas.
Yeah, well, he needed a job.
Slip going on there. He's betraying you. I've got just a book for you.
B. Joe Hunt for $4.99. It's been confirmed Superman filmed at Union Terminal in Cincinnati. Originally, the inspiration for the Hall of Justice. Post-credit scene or larger role.
That's cool.
The JSA are in it. Hawkgirl, Guy Gardner. Do you already have a Justice League or Justice Society of America?
That's part of the thing that's unappealing to this movie. It just seems overpacked. Like a Superman story should be focused on Superman when you have the stupid idiot with the shitty haircut and all these other people. It just gets overbogged.
You kind of wonder whether they'll sort of just flit in and out peripherally in the story to hint that there is like this way bigger universe that you'll encounter if the movie is successful enough, and then they'll make some more. But if they're in it, then that kind of suggests that, I mean, do they live at the Hall of Justice? So that would suggest that we're going to spend some time there, right?
I think it'll be a post-credit scene. Like he'll go, leave your society and join my league, something like that.
Yeah. That sounds exciting.
I just don't think it's
Um,
effective for the marketing if they want to incorporate that into the movie and develop these characters slowly over time. But marketing it as this whole ensemble of characters rather than just Superman, I think was a mistake.
Yeah, it'll be. I mean, the film is still getting me curious, right? Which is probably a good thing. It's not screaming this will be absolutely shit. It's just like, well,
Is the
maybe.
film getting you curious, or is the meta and discussion around the film getting you curious?
Probably a bit of both. Probably more the latter, to be honest.
Yeah,
But the
that's-
film itself, I kind of want to see what James Gunn does when he's creating an entire universe for himself.
Mhm.
JMac has gifted 20 Little Platoon memberships, all for himself, probably, because that's what JMac's like. But thank you very much, sir. And I think finally, maybe question mark, unless I missed some, which we probably have. Wonder Girl 108 for $20. Most important thing to know ahead of time when writing a story, how you want it to end. That way you can build up to it. On your way to getting there, you might change your mind, but at least have an end point in mind first. I completely 100% agree.
100%. Yeah.
So often the first thing I'll ever have is an idea for the beginning scene and then the end scene.
Everything
That's
else can
it.
be filled in together. It really works.
You get to
And
go
even
on an adventure with your story. If you don't know how you're getting from A to Z, then letters B through X kind of let the story take over a little bit and see where it takes you.
Even with YouTube videos, I always find my intros take so much longer than all of the other videos because there's so many other components I'm trying to there's so many other references and things I'm trying to achieve within the intro. But I feel like if I have my intro idea already and my ending idea already, my video just is so much easier to make. So whether it's a video or a story, I think that's super important.
I do my intros last for my videos.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah.
If I have a 2-minute intro, it'll take me longer than the next like 7 to 8 minutes because there's like a million things I'm trying to do.
I find my intros to be the easiest part. Like I walk in, go, "Who the fuck is this person? Who do you think you are?" It's just all my trauma from watching the movie. I just dump it. Here's the plot anyway.
I try to add like a million references, so it just gets gets bogged down, even though it's like a minute.
Well, the only problem with knowing where you're going is if you're George R.R. Martin and you know you're going off a cliff.
What do you do?
No idea what to do.
What do you do? Imagine that man watching season 8 and Danny just fucking kills everybody. He's like, oh shit, I would have done it way better. What do I do now? What do you do?
Well, the worst outcome is that he watches that and thinks, oh shit, that's what I was planning to do.
He's gonna do something that everyone hates it.
Yeah, he told them the ending. They know his ending. They just rushed all the parts. So it'll be better done. Yeah, it'll be better performed, but you've still got Jon Snow going, she's my queen.
I don't want it.
Don't want
it. And it's just this is the thing. Everyone was down with Daenerys going nuts. Just not like that. It needs to make sense. It needs to be developed. You can't have someone give her a dirty look and suddenly she wants to burn kids.
Her nephew wouldn't fuck her, so she murdered.
Fucking Christ. The North didn't like her, and my nephew won't eat my fucking ass, so I'm gonna kill people now. Like, it's just fucking stupid, man.
Who has a better story than Bran the Broken, even though we cut him out for an entire season?
Right. I'm still thinking about fucking writing a story on that cunt, Bran. The stupidest piece of shit. Just real quick, I'm not going to turn this to a tangent, but does anyone remember what Bran wanted to be in season 1? What was his goal?
A knight, right?
He wanted to be on the Kingsguard, like Jaime Lannister. He wanted to be a knight. He wanted to be a soldier. The one time he had leadership when Robb was away and he actually had to lead, he was bored to tears, breaking walnuts on the table with his little brother. He didn't give a fuck about ruling. But suddenly you're trying to tell me that this guy who was his plan all along, it's fucking bullshit. It's absolute bullshit.
He didn't do anything. His plan was to just sit there, let Theon die pointlessly, and then become king.
And he never has the lead either, because as soon as he's king, he sits at the small council meeting and says, well, we've got like an entire country to rebuild, king. What are we going to do? I don't know. I'm just going to go and get high. And then off he goes.
He's high looking for dragons and shit, just fucking snorting cocaine in his wheelchair. So
just as I planned to do, ignore my duties as king.
I'm sure you'll figure it out.
His plan was to let everyone die so he could become a very bad king.
I remember on the beach scene when they were sending Jon off to the watch. I'm like, seriously, all you got to do right now is have Bran like give him some anime flash of his eyes and show all the events from the Mad King to the Red Wedding and Bran was the puppet master for all of it throughout the entire show, and John is the only one now who knows the truth as he leaves the fucking. I'm like, that will give me something. At least tell me Bran was a mastermind. No, they didn't do anything. So I don't know.
Well, he's a genius. He let Theon die for nothing.
Oh,
He could have went, like when Theon went to charge him, he could have went, "No, wait a second, Theo.
Just wait 30 seconds, bro. Just
We
wait 30
egged him on. Theon, you're a good man.
You're a good man, Theon.
Die, die for me, Theon."
I don't even know how we got in this subject, but it always fucking seems to pop up and just fucking piss me off. Talk about Jurassic Park.
Yeah, this is the last super chat, I believe. From Taker610, $10. People in the movie universe of Jurassic Park got bored of dinosaurs, so they made new ones. Now we, the real life Jurassic Park audience, have gotten bored of these new dinosaurs. Is that irony? Kind of.
A little
I
bit,
guess.
yeah.
Was
Just
that
a-
Bender? It's not irony, it's coincidental.
I
He doesn't
stand
get
by
it.
that. I just stand by it. Like, if you can't make dinosaurs interesting or scary, it's skill issue. 100% skill issue. It's just
I agree.
you don't
Yes.
need all this bullshit. They're fucking dinosaurs. Do something interesting.
I think hundreds of millions of years of evolution had a few better ideas than the Jurassic World writers' room came up with in half an hour. So like, there's
Mhm.
plenty still left that we could be doing, but we're not.
Mm.
I believe, unless I have missed any, which I wouldn't be surprised if I have, that is kind of it. I think we might finally have made it. In which case, the last thing we have to do is just go around and plug your shit, and we can kick off with Vex, our brown magic bonus hole.
Dirty
Thank you.
sandwich.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank you.
Dirty little sandwich.
Where can we find you? What's coming up for you?
Thank you for having me on. It's always a pleasure hanging out with you guys. Thank you, chat, also for being happy with my presence. I stream every Sunday morning on my channel. I just kind of talk about something I watched that week. Since it was Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, there was a special camera on yesterday. I got some videos in the works, though. I've been on an unintentionally long hiatus, so just keep an eye.
We'll do that. Well, thank you for coming. Reaper,
My
what
pleasure.
have you released anything in the last month?
I've released 2 videos. I still haven't finished Last of Us, even though it's been over for 2-3 weeks.
Wow.
Still going in.
I've almost got. I watched How to Train Your Dragon today, the newest one. So I'll.
What is that
That might-
out?
That's out?
Yeah, it's out in the UK.
Wait,
I
wait,
just
wait.
saw
The
it.
new one?
Yeah, I showed Cynic a picture to
Yeah.
confirm I am not lying. Yeah,
Is it
there's
on
no-
Is it in India at all yet?
Probably.
Did they
If
screw it up? That's the question.
It's better than Lilo and Stitch, as it's way more 1-for-1. But there's a lot of stupid changes in it. Like at the very end, when he gets all the dragons together, he goes, "Astrid has to lead us because she's the lead and she's the best." Like it doesn't destroy the story, but there's loads of little bits like that.
Mhm.
It's got more girl boss moments from her. Half the casting is fucking atrocious, and half the casting is really good. So Hiccup, the main character, Jared Butler, and Nick Frost, good. The other kids are horrendous.
Hmm.
Like the twins, one of them is just like, he was so gay. I'm like, he was going, "I'm the best dragon hunter."
Oh god.
No.
Oh,
I'm not
no.
Oh god.
Every every time he's on screen, I just went, "What the fuck?" They also add like this pointless subplot where the tiny Viking is like, "My dad loves me, and his dad doesn't love him." At the very end of the film, in like a very quick scene, he puts his hand on his shoulder, and I went, "This is such a little payoff. It might as well not even be included."
Hmm.
It's half an hour longer, and they
Every
don't really
time.
add new scenes.
That's been the pattern. That's the pattern
Why
with
do they
all the
do
Disney
that?
remakes. It's all of them are
Yeah,
20
always.
or 30 minutes longer, and it's all fucking boring, padded bullshit. It doesn't do anything.
The CGI is really good. Like the Toothless looks great. All the dragons look good. It's better than most remakes, but still kind of shit.
All right.
Yeah, well, we shall look forward to. So you're covering that, are you?
Well, maybe.
Maybe. I was actually I was watching your last videos last night. They are very good. So yeah, finish those up. They're definitely worth doing.
I'm finishing out of obligation, and again because I've got so many pictures of her.
It's worth it just for the memes. Yeah.
You know what I might do?
You're
If it's,
invested at this point.
if it's creepy, I might carve her eyes out like a killer. Just a bunch of scribbled eyes. Yeah. So I'll try and put a video again. I like that I sound like I'm putting as much effort in as Platoon does. Your ones are like hours and hours, and mine are like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
so
I
maybe-
need to do some 10-minute second channel. Yeah, they'll be coming probably. It'll be nice to not work on a 4-hour video for a change.
Yeah, so
Jedi Brooks, what is coming up for you, sir?
So I also have my Last of Us video from a while back. So comparing Joel's bullshit death to Ned's fantastically written one. I'm working on a Lilo and Stitch video because I cannot believe what they did to that lady's sister and just ruined the entire point of the movie. Again and again and again, Disney just does not seem to get what they had with those the golden era of films, and they have to remake them and just butcher them to the ground. And the Lilo and Stitch one just fucking annoyed me. I'm also finally finishing up my top 5 deleted scenes video. It's really, really extensive, trying to go in depth about all some of my favorite deleted scenes and how much they affected the films that they were in. I'm fighting copyright for that because it seems like that's all I have fucking ever do, and I have to wait to potentially go to the appeal for that shit. So that's going to be delayed by a few weeks, and I'm going to be also working on a Squid Game video, the one I referenced. So definitely some content on the way.
Good stuff. Cynic, how about you?
I have no idea what I'm working on next.
I thought we'd established by now anyway that you don't work anyway. You fucking bastard.
I'll regret that forever.
I am doing a 200K stream next week, and it'll probably be like right after.
Oh yeah, fuck! Congrats, dude! Don't even mention that.
Congratulations!
Oh,
yeah.
nice one.
Oh, congrats!
Thank you. I worked real hard, you know.
But throw that at you.
But that'll be what I'm gonna do next. That I'm sure of is a 200K stream after BSUP next week. Yeah.
You're like a
Nice
guy
one.
that finished a marathon by accident.
I guess I'll celebrate this. Well, it's 200K.
Well, okay. I'll just celebrate this 200K.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Yeah.
And what about you, Platoon? What are you doing?
Fucking still Thunderbolts, but it's basically done at this point. I'm just waiting to summon up the energy for the final 20 minutes of that video. It was going to be significantly longer until I realized how little of a fuck that I gave, so it's not going to have a conclusion. But it's going to be there. So at some point this week, it'll be out, and then there'll be some second channel thing once I've decided what that's going to be. And then, then I guess we're heading on into the shitstorm of July, when lots and lots of very exciting and almost certainly terrible things will release.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Busy time.
Ironheart, Fantastic Four, Superman.
Oh fuck no, Ironheart's this
Jurassic World.
month, isn't it? Ironheart comes out in a week or two.
Oh,
That's
and
a good one.
I had it
Oh, I'm
written
so
down at some
excited.
point, but I think Ironheart is the first on the list.
28 years later, first.
Yeah, I'm excited for that actually.
Oh, yeah.
That is the only one that that's the best trailer I've seen in decades. It feels like. So I'm hoping the movie lives up to it.
Apparently, he's filmed 2 films back to back. So the next one's called Bone Temple, and it
What?
comes out
Yeah.
January next year.
Why wouldn't they just do 28 months later? I don't understand the skip. It just seems like a missed opportunity. They go
So
days,
he's filmed-
weeks.
No, so he's filmed 28 years later and the sequel at the same time.
They're actually, I think they're in pre or post production for the third one because then the third one will come out next summer. So just 6-month gaps in between all of them.
Yeah, which is weird.
Well,
Never
maybe
seen
they
that.
do have a
actually-
proper plan.
I'm actually interested to see how that pans out in terms of viewership because January is a good month for horror movies generally anyways. There's a lot that drop in January, so that's not a bad thing, but it is Nia DaCosta, so see what happens.
Oh, good stuff. That does, I think, bring us to the end. So thank you everyone for coming. Thank you, Chad, for sticking around with us. As always, we'll be back this time next week when maybe nothing's releasing this week. We'll find something to talk about. Don't know what it'll be, but something will come up.
Acidic video. We can react to that also.
Oh, we
Yeah,
could
How
do
to
that.
Train Your
That'd
Dragon
be
will be
fun.
out at the end of this
Oh
week.
yeah, we do
Yeah.
probably have to talk
Sure,
about
I've
it.
seen it. I have a week on yous. Somehow a week on Platoon, even though we're in the same country.
I just forgot it was coming. Oh God, yeah, I'll get on that at some point.
It's
But
not
yeah,
too
that's
bad.
it. We will see you in a week's time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.